So for our first segment here today, we're going to be going through the biggest addition, loss, and hole in every roster of the NHL. Surely, as soon as we publish this, there is going to be a flurry of trades that have been speculated all summer.
Fingers crossed.
But we waited till end of August. It feels like it's probably going to be close to as good of a time to do it, other than training camp, right? So most deals feel like they're pretty done. Maybe waiting on a Carlson or a McTavish or some kind of deal like that to get done, or Roslovic to get signed. But other than that, we're pretty locked in here. So we've each come up with an addition, a loss, and a hole. They may be the same, they may be different. And generally we tried to keep it towards, a new signing or trade in the summer, but sometimes, we had to get a little creative. Maybe
I think I have a couple of trade deadline acquisitions from last year.
Yeah.
And then I tried to not talk about prospects or anything. I tried to talk about things that are going to affect the team this season. Those aren't always players, though. Not all of my adds, losses, and holes are players. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I try to keep it generally pretty player heavy. I think a couple, and then I have I didn't go any prospects because I didn't want to say who's going to make a team and not, because you never know. And I do reference the draft, I believe, twice in mine, because they're just the most exciting players, right? So we're gonna go alphabetical order by team. Starting here with the Anaheim Ducks.
Yep.
Who is your addition, your big ad?
I put years.
Okay.
Just another year of this young core getting to play together and grow a little bit. I mean, they got all the pieces they need, in my opinion. I didn't want to call out. You probably picked either Crater or Granlund as your pick, I would assume.
I did pick Granlund.
Yeah, a reasonable pick. I think he's a good player, obviously, but he's not making him a contender this year. So to me, the thing that's going to push them towards that contender status is just another year of them developing, right? So
yeah, I said Granlund just because I think he's a good fit for this kind of a team. A veteran guy who can fit kind of anywhere in your top six: winger, center, first line, second line. Can even play third line if a lot of things go really well for Anaheim. They won't. He'll be in the top six, but and while his contract might be a little high, it won't be a problem during any relevant years, right? It'll either be worth it or he'll be done because it'll be three-year deal.
Bit surprised that they gave him 3 years, just because I would think that they would want to do what the Sharks did and move him again at some point, but at 3 years, you're pushing towards when they might actually be competing. So maybe they actually do picture him as part of their long-term plans. But
yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
either way, he's a good player. He's gonna be good for him.
So who's your biggest loss?
So I put Trevor Zegras.
Same.
I don't think it's a back-breaking loss for this team. I don't think they needed that additional project that Zegras kind of represents, but I don't think they were using him well. So I don't think they were really showing off a lot of the things that he can do. I don't think Philly's going to use him well either, to be fair. We'll get there when we get to Philly, but there was more potential they could have gotten from him, I think, but I think it was also okay for them to cut ties and move on. They didn't get really anything of value back, so that kind of sucks for them. But I mean, they still have a great young core. I don't think this is a major road bump for them in their rebuild. So
no, I think a change of scenery was needed. He's really stalled out the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, and he's probably a bit overrated from where he was a couple of years ago. But when you're a team that hasn't made the playoffs in multiple years, it still sucks to lose talent, right? This is not a team that should be shedding talent.
I think Trevor Zegras' ceiling is around a top six winger, and those don't grow on trees. He could be a really, really he's shown some really good scoring and playmaking potential. So,
yeah.
There's
this is the kind of move you do to shake up a team that's kind of stalled in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they can't get past the first, second round, right?
Right.
And then you make a big shake up, not a team that's still chasing that playoff berth.
It's a Buffalo style move.
It is.
And that's probably not what you want to say about your roster decisions.
So what do you have as their biggest hole?
It's the right hand side of their blue line. I mean, it's Gudas, Trouba. Those guys are not that good now, and they're really not gonna. They're both expiring, and they're not gonna be part of their long term future as as like their right handed defenseman. So they have Tristan Luneau as a young guy who could potentially be on that side. They have Drew Hellison, who I think could potentially be a second line or a second pairing guy maybe. So they've got some potential things there, but the right side of their blue line looks a lot less fleshed out than the left side. I think left side they've got Lackham, who looks like he's very good. At the very least, maybe not like a super 1D, but at least a first pairing quality player, right? And then between Mintyukov and what's his face? Zellweger, yes. I think one of those guys is going to pan out to be a really good second pairing guy for him. So that left side looks good. The right side, a little more suspicious. Yeah. What did you have?
I had their forward depth.
Okay.
It really falls off once you get past the Carlson, McTavish, Terry, Gauthier kind of range.
Yeah.
Vetrano and Granlund are decent, but it gets really dicey really quick. So if those top guys who are all fairly young, struggle, maybe they get to a slow start, maybe hit the sophomore slump, or there's injuries, this team is not going to be contending for a playoff spot without those guys at the top.
Realistically, though, they're probably not competing for a playoff spot, even with those guys there.
Probably not.
But it's
if
possible.
Everybody hits,
yeah. If
everybody plays
hit
well,
at the same
West
time,
is weak enough.
Dostal has another good year. They're they got some potential, but we'll see.
Yeah. So next up, we got the Boston Bruins. Yep. What did you have for your addition on the Boston Bruins?
Why don't you go first?
I had Victor Arvidsson.
Wow, great.
This team didn't make hardly any additions of note, but he's last year of a $4 million deal. You retain half of that. He shows off a little something. You can flip him at the deadline, retain $2 million. He's the type of guy that playoff teams love to add at the deadline. A bit of grit, a bit of scoring. He's never healthy, but if he's able to be healthy and shows any sort of the Nashville production, then you could get something nice for him.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about like potentially upgrading a 5th round pick to like a 3rd round pick, because that's probably what that's going to end up being. So I put in here Fraser Minton, because I know you like Fraser Minton a lot. He was deadline acquisition last year. And good young player, might make their roster this year. So, that's definitely something. So that could be exciting for him.
Yeah, I'm definitely sad that he's no longer with the Leafs. He looked like he's going to be a real good 3C, which is a hole that the Leafs have had for,
but
forever.
Maybe not anymore.
Since the Kadri time.
But maybe not anymore.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Towards the end.
Who is your loss? I'm very interested, because I didn't feel like Boston lost a lot.
I put their pride for their loss. They're a sad team now. Let's be real. It's kind of a sad team in Boston. I don't think that all hope is lost for this team. Like, they still have some very good players. Pasta and McAvoy are two of the best players in their respective positions in the NHL. But I just, the pieces around them just aren't very good. And Boston spent so long competing that there's not a lot right now in the war chest for them to be able to rely on to come up and contribute. So it's going to be interesting. They drafted Higgins. We can talk about the draft. They drafted Higgins in the last draft. Potentially their 1C of the future. I mean, that's really what they need. I don't know if betting on James Higgins is what you want to be doing, but if that pick hits, then like that kind of jumpstarts them ahead. But I think they're not going to be good this year, and so they're going to have another opportunity at that. But like they got to hit on one soon, otherwise they're going to throw away Pasta and McAvoy's primes, and that's going to be pretty sad. What did you have?
I had Parker Wotherspoon.
Okay. Yeah.
2 years ago, he had looking like a promising up-and-coming, bottom pair, maybe 4D, and then kind of turned into a disappointing year last year. So, it's not a big loss.
Yeah.
But it's a loss. It's one that, was semi-productive at some point recently. So that's kind of all they weren't very active.
No.
I'll say. In the roster.
No, it's kind of interesting. We'll see what they do. I feel like they're still kind of waffling about and think that they're not as bad as they really are. But I don't see this as competing for the playoffs. Like as this roster is competing for the playoffs. Maybe we can talk about why with the holes. I put 1C as their hole. Lindholm is not really a 1C. We talked about that in our 1C video. Maybe he's a 2C if they do hit on that 1C at some point, but they got a lot of like random, like very middling centers on their roster that just like none of them are really good enough to be on that Pasta line and like really be good. So, that's really what they need. And then, that once you have those pieces, then the other ones can kind of fall into place, and that would get them back into the playoffs, and then they could kind of retool their depth and stuff like that. But they're not getting anywhere without a major upgrade at the 1C position, I think.
Yeah.
What's your hole, Colin?
My hole is pretty similar to yours, except I extended it one position further. I said line mates for Pasta.
Okay, reasonable.
It's a lot of middle six guys in this forward group, and then David Pastrnak like stands out above everybody else. So they're going to need a couple guys who are going to play with him if they want to get back into the playoff chase.
Like Victor Arvidsson.
No, not Victor Arvidsson. He is in that collection of middle six guys.
But hey, they put him next to Pasta. Maybe he'll earn enough points to get him a second round pick instead of a third round pick.
Maybe.
And then I'll feel silly for not talking about him as their best ad.
Right.
All right, you want to move on to the Buffalo Sabres?
Yeah, let's do the Buffalo Sabres.
Okay, what is your ad that you picked?
Mine is Kesselring.
I also picked Kesselring.
Their left D is just stupid stacked. Dahlin, Power, Byram. Samuelson should be a left D, but they usually flex him to right because this team has no right D. Here's your right D. It's Kesselring. It's going to be great on the second pair. Him and Merca are like the perfect guys to target this summer for them.
And they also picked up Connor Timmins, who, despite not being like a fantastic player, is like a very serviceable bottom pairing right-handed defenseman, right? So I really like the way that they retooled their blue line this offseason. I hope that'll bring him a little bit more success because it's a good-looking group. Like it really is a good-looking group if you look at the quality of defensemen that they have.
Yeah.
What did you pick for their loss?
JJ Peterka. They kind of have the forward group to withstand losing him. Like I don't think like they're suddenly like crying because they lost Peterka. But I mean, any team that loses a projected 30 goal scorer is going to feel it a little bit, right?
Yeah. I also put Peterka for mine. Basically the same thing. I think easy, super good top six winger. Really young too, like was going to be a part of the team's core going forward. But I mean, you kind of get why they did it. Like we just talked, like it was Kesselring for Peterka. That was the trade, right? So it makes sense. It makes sense to do that. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. What do you have for their whole?
So I have leadership.
Okay.
As the whole, like this team just has all the pieces. They've had almost all the pieces for a few seasons now, and it just never materializes. Kevin Adams is blamed palm trees and like everything else, but
yeah.
But what he does, and like I kind of understand from his point of view, because he's like on paper, he's like, yeah, this should work. And it just doesn't inspire any confidence in the fans, right? The fans have all kind of given up on him and the Sabres.
Yep.
Lindy Ruff, he's a fine coach, but he's not bringing anything new to the table. He's not installing a new culture, a new energy in the fans, in the team, in the city. This team just kind of needs leadership from the top that'll bring that culture of success, because they have the talent to be successful, but it's the intangibles just are completely not present here.
Yeah,
and the fans have fallen off, and they need to get the fans back.
It's interesting because I actually picked a more tangible thing. I think their center depth and consistency is a little bit off for me. I mean, is Tage Thompson going to be their 1C? He's had amazing seasons in the past doing that, but also maybe there's not that, what is Zach Benson going to do for this team? Is he going to actually be able to be healthy? They have Yuri Kulich, right? Who came in, was coming in as a rookie, or did he play last year? I don't remember. Did he have games?
He played last year.
Okay. Yeah. But yes, he did. And was okay, but he's young and I just don't know what I don't know what their forward group is going to look like in terms of where the positions are going to go, what guys are going to be on what lines and getting what ice time and stuff like that. And I guess kind of leaning into what you said about leadership, I'm not convinced that the leadership is going to put them in the right positions to be able to do that kind of thing. Have the kind of patience to find the right fits for everyone and stuff like that. So it's. I don't know. Yeah, you're on paper though. This, even with the concerns that I have on paper, this should be a playoff team. So the fact that they haven't been able to do that, even with the performances that they've gotten, is I think absolutely crazy. Oh, and then special shout out to UPL for maybe being terrible. That could also be
and
that
Levi,
could also be a whole.
Looked like he was good. Now he's back in the minors. So are either of them real? Who knows? They went from having multiple goalies to maybe now have no goalies.
Yeah.
Right. So
I don't know. It's hard to being a goalie is so hard. Being a goalie on a team that is destitute and has that kind of outlook, and everyone is looking at them like they're losers and will never be good, is really hard. So we'll see. All right, Flames.
Calgary Flames.
Who'd you pick for your ad?
My ad, I went with Cole Reshney. He's one of the draft picks.
Okay.
And is a really random guy to pick the 18th or 19th. I don't remember. I think he's 18th pick of the draft. But the only ad they made was Ivan Prosvetov, who's gonna battle for a backup job, not even a locked backup. He's played 24 games in 4 seasons. I'm not picking him as the biggest ad. He's not going to make a big impact on this roster. It's Cole Reshney. Plus, also this summer after the draft, had a great showing for Canada at the World Junior Summer Showcase. One of the only Canadian forwards showed up and was great. And he showed some scoring touch, which he did not show at all as in his juniors, and looked like he was going to be a defensive 3C. So if he can maybe develop that. If that kind of trends upwards, he could be, an exciting 2C.
Yeah. I went all the way back to last year, and I just picked Joel Farabee. I like Joel Farabee. He's a good middle six winger. I think he's got good stuff I don't know, he's just a solid guy. I thought it was a good acquisition, makes their team, makes their forward depth look a little bit better. So
I thought about going Zane Parekh as well. But it's not a lock that he's going to make this roster this season.
But
I think he is the most exciting player on this organization.
For sure.
He looks like he's going to be fantastic.
What'd you pick for your loss?
I went Dan Vladar. He is a backup, which I just said I'm not going to talk about the backup they got. But Vladar is just the perfect backup to Dustin Wolf. He's a vet that's not going to make Wolf at all concerned about the starting job, right? Wolf doesn't have to constantly be looking over his shoulder, scared to make a mistake. But he's the kind of guy that if Wolf, goes through some struggles, and in a sophomore season, you could see stretches where Wolf may struggle, and Vladar can come in and he can spell him, and he can get some more starts while Wolf works with the goalie coach, works the confidence back up to get back in that position. And right now, I don't think they want to play anybody but Wolf for all 82 games.
Yeah.
And putting Wolf in for 82 games is going to kill him. So
no, that makes a lot of sense. That like veteran, like not trying to like compete for the starting job, but just like a competent backup is like a pretty solid thing to have behind a young goalie like Wolf, who just had like such a good year. I'm actually going to predict the future a little bit on this one though. Okay. And I'm going to say it's Rasmus Andersson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe by the
part when he leaves.
Maybe by the time this episode actually gets released, Anderson will have already been traded.
Maybe.
The writing is on the wall. So the crazy things that they were able to do last year, is a big part because their defensive core is so solid. So, and Anderson's a big part of that. So I think they're going to get a lot worse when Anderson gets traded. You got to hope that they're able to get a good package for him to help them retool, because that leads us into their holes.
Yeah. Mine is top talent.
Yeah.
Wolf is the only projectable elite player. He's not there yet, so he might never reach that, right? But he's the only guy that you could look at and say, this guy's going to be elite. Zane Parekh, but he also hasn't played an NHL game yet, so it's kind of hard to say that he's for sure going to be an elite guy. Other than that, though, this roster has like no projectable elite talent. There's some good players: Uyghur, Anderson, Huberdeau, Kadri. Those are all good guys, right?
Yeah.
But
and I
none
think,
of them are elite.
I think Flames fans are probably excited about Connor Zary and Matt Coronado, who just got signed to an extension. I think those are good players, but I don't think
those guys going to be all-star players or just like good top 9 forwards.
Yeah,
right?
I think those are good. Those are good pieces to have in your top 9, maybe even your top 6, right, for both of them. But you're right. They're really missing the thing. I put 1C for me because, like, to me that's like the epitome of what they're missing, with Kadri not really being that, and they don't really have a successor there. And I don't think Cole Reckney is going to be that guy. So I
don't think so either.
They're still looking. We'll see what they do this year, because I don't know. I think that Anderson trade is definitely happening, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they eat some Kadri contract to see if someone can take, like, a Montreal is willing to buy a Kadri or something like that. It just seems like that kind of thing makes back when it's expiring. Like, these are the kind of guys that you'd expect to see try and get shipped off, for them to try and retool some of that. Try and get some picks so that they could. That's what they need, right? They just need picks right now so that they can mortgage on the future. Yeah. Because the old guys they got are fine, but there's no top end. So
yeah. And I think they will get worse this year. I thought they were going to be terrible last year.
Yeah.
I think this year, if Anderson and Kadri get moved,
yeah, for sure, they're way worse.
Then they're going to be way worse. And like, I get a feeling that Wolf may take a slight step back, especially if he's going to get overplayed with no real backups in town. I think he'll be fine, but not like single-handedly winning them nearly as many games as he did last year.
No, that's a good point. They will probably get worse, I think they want to get worse, because I think they want.
They want the draft pick.
They want to have,
especially in this draft. This is a good draft to get worse in.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll move on to the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yep.
Who did you pick for your ad? Oh, you want me to go? I can go first.
I think we probably picked the same guy.
I bet we didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, who'd you pick then?
Keandre Miller.
Really? Okay.
I picked Keandre Miller. I like Nick Ehlers a lot. I think that was a great ad. I'm sure that's who you picked. I really like Keandre Miller as a potential fit in the system, though. He's a good, young, offensively minded defenseman that could potentially run their power play. I don't know that he will, but he could potentially run their power play. And at the very least, when Ghost Bear is washed and gone, he can do it, because they signed him for a very long time. They're committed to him, right? And I think he just kind of fits in the system. Like, he's offensive. He's more offensively minded. He likes to get in the rush. And there's enough players around him that can pick up the slack for that defensively to let him kind of be like a difference maker. I think he's a guy that could potentially help them like come playoff time, right? Be like that real like X factor to kind of get them through some of the issues that they've had, right? And in the playoffs, just like scoring goals and being, competitive. So I really liked that Keandre Miller pickup. Nick Ehlers is a great pick too, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Miller.
Yeah. I mean, I have Ehlers because, like you said, the scoring issues in the playoffs. I mean, if you want to, inject offense, there's kind of nobody. There's only one guy really that was available this year that injects more offense than Nick Ehlers.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be hopefully for them a great fit as far as like a guy who can score some goals on Florida, because it's really what they need is
that's his job. He's
scoring goals on Florida. Whether it's him scoring, which he's not the greatest goal scorer, but
but maybe
he's a decent goal scorer and setting up. Yeah, Aho. Maybe he's the guy that can unlock Svechnikov to be the 40 goal guy that he shows signs of every once in a while.
Yeah, we'll see.
But who'd you have for their loss?
I put Mitch Marner.
Okay.
Can you really call it a loss if they never had it? But I mean, that this team was linked to Marner multiple times. At the deadline last year, there was supposedly a trade that Marner vetoed with Rantanen, and then everyone was talking they were talking all about acquiring him this offseason before Vegas swooped in and picked him up, which was great. I think Ehlers is good and is going to make this team a lot better, but God, like Mitch Marner on this team, like it would have been like the perfect fit. It would have been absolutely amazing. So, I mean, still, I don't know. It's just what could have been. What could have been.
Exactly. Yep. So I went with somebody who was on Carolina's roster last year.
Sure.
I went with Jack Roslovic.
Okay.
This center depth is just so huge in the NHL, as we've talked about before.
Yeah.
And Roslovic is a guy who can play on any line in a pinch. Like he can moonlight on your first line if you need somebody to cover, a week or two. He can play on your second line. He's probably really good in the third, fourth line area. So he's just a really flexible center. And if there's injuries, then I think they're going to feel it a little bit more than they did last year when they had Roslovic.
And Stahl's not getting any younger too, so having a little bit of extra center depth is going to be something that they probably like. That's a good
Who'd you have for your hole, or what? I guess did you have for your hole?
I put very specifically 2C.
Same.
I think like one of Kokaniemi, Stankoven, or Seth Jarvis is gonna need to be the 2C on this team. I think they're gonna try all three of them, and I'm not sure that any of
maybe
them.
Stahl.
Yeah, I'm not sure any of them really have what it takes. I think KK has a 3C. I think Stankoven and Jarvis are probably just wingers, but maybe one of them can step up and make that thing. But I mean, if they don't, then they're really hurting for like an actual center on that line.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all four of those players are good players. But like I just don't see any of them matching up with Sam Bennett, Anthony Cirelli, John Tavares, JT Miller. Like these are all like probably some of the top 2Cs that they're gonna match up against in the playoffs. And I think Florida, Tampa, Toronto, and the Rangers are going to be very happy seeing Kokaniemi.
Stacked with 2Cs, huh?
It is.
I just thought about
really
that. All those guys are cheese. Yeah. So definitely.
Oh, and Nico Hischier. I forgot about Nico Hischier.
Right. Probably
New Jersey's
maybe the best one.
Yeah, and
it's because he'll be the one. He'll be the 1C come playoff time.
If they make the playoffs, we'll see.
True.
They've let me down before. Interesting team here, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Who did you have for your addition?
I went back to the trade deadline and I talked about Stuart Knight. Solid move for him. I think Knight and Soderblom are both young guys that could potentially be starters in the NHL. It's a decent goaltending tandem for a bad team to see what they've got. Yeah. So I liked that move for them a lot. I think I think Knight could be a guy. He could be just whatever of a guy, but even if he is just whatever, like he's an asset that can be traded, or he's someone that can run in front of your bad team in front of him and give you games. So
I went with Andre Burakovsky. It was a questionable ad. He had a really bad year with Seattle, right? But he'll get every opportunity, I think, to elevate one of Bedard or Nazar in that top six.
Yeah.
And, if he can, then Chicago got him for free. And if not, then they lost nothing to get him, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of a no-lose scenario for Chicago.
Yep.
Who'd you have as their loss?
I put that you have to have something to lose it. That is my exact words that I have in my note document here. And then in my lost notes, I put this team fucking blows.
So I think they actually did lose something. I put both Maroon and Martinez.
Okay.
Pat Maroon and Alec Martinez. Look, their on-ice contribution, very replaceable, right? Extremely replaceable. But these two guys are both like pure hockey warriors, right?
Yeah.
Super physical shot blockers, role players, the kind of guys that, are glue guys to an organization. They both won 3 Stanley Cup championships between each of them, So their leadership to a young core, I think, will be missed.
But what was it?
These
worth,
are the kind of guys
Colin?
you
what
want.
What was it worth to them before? They haven't done it. They haven't done jack.
Bedard
still.
They haven't. It hasn't worked with Bedard, but they still have more guys that are coming up through the system.
You're right. That's a good point. That's a good point. I like your answer better than mine.
But not for their on-ice play, right? Their on-ice, on production, completely replaceable. In the locker room, though, I would like to have those kind of guys helping this young team. What did you put for your whole?
I put
the answer is kind of yes.
Everything is what I put. The team construction is really bad. I think it's just not good. I don't know. There's no real top wing talent to pair with Bedard. There's no real middle six talent to pair with Nazar and to kind of give you some depth. Their defensemen are crazy young and unproven, and could be really good, but are they actually going to run out 5 guys on their defense core under the age of 24? That's kind of crazy, right? So it's just there's pieces for the future, and there's a lot of prospects and stuff like that. But this team, as it's constructed, I think just has holes top to bottom. I can't really pick one thing. So except not goaltending. I think Knight and Soderblom is an adequate goaltending tandem.
Yeah. I went with top 6 wingers, particularly of the future variety.
Yeah.
The Hawks, they've done the most difficult parts of team building at this stage, right? You have your top 2 centers, if with Bedard and Nazar. You have a deep defense core developing that looks kind of fantastic.
Yeah.
And you got a goalie that is probably good enough to go on a run, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, you got the core, you got the hardest parts done. Now you just need to surround Bedard and Nazar with some exciting players.
Yeah.
With some talent.
We'll see when they decide to put their foot on the gas in terms of kind of trying to do stuff. Maybe
thought they were going to spend some money this summer.
I thought so too. I sneaky thought they throw a shit ton of money at Marner or something like that.
I really thought that was a possibility.
Immediately makes the team so much better. But yeah, maybe that'll be next summer. Maybe they're tanking for one more year for one more good draft where they can pick up another winger of the future. Because Frondel's gonna be good for them when he
he comes over.
When he comes over. So yeah, I don't know. It's they got to spend money at some point to get those guys in. Because I'm not gonna fully blame Bedard because he's it's a a full, like, just no talent around him. But, like, you kind of have to put some talent there in order to. If you look at, if we think back to our 1C tier list and you look at like all those young guys that we were talking about, the ones that we put the highest, I don't think there's any coincidence that those are the ones that have good players on their line.
Yeah.
And the ones that we put the lowest are the players that don't have good players on their line, because it takes good players to make good players good. I don't know. Like, you're not a 20-year-old Connor Bedard isn't gonna raise the floor of Ryan Donato and Burakovsky to a fucking.
Apparently, he can raise the floor of Donato to a 30-goal score.
I don't know. We'll see.
Right. Except for Adam Fantilli, no, he actually did. He didn't play with great wingers either.
That's true.
Marchenko's pretty solid, but he
played with okay wingers. I think Marchenko mostly played with Monahan though. I don't think there was a lot of time between. For Fantilli.
Yeah, I think he played with like Boone Jenner and Cole Sillinger or something.
Hey, those are not the worst guys.
I mean, they're better than who Bedard played with. So
for sure.
The Colorado Avalanche are next. What did you put for their addition?
I didn't
feel great about it. Same.
How is a 40-year-old Brent Burns the best thing that they added this offseason? That is a red flag.
He was still decent last year with Carolina.
Well, yeah.
He's played decent. Way too many minutes.
He's realistically, he's probably a bottom pairing defenseman still. Maybe gets in there for some offensive stuff, but I don't know.
Third pair, second power play unit, keep him to 14 minutes a night. He's going to be decent at that point.
But I don't think he's like a game changer addition for them.
No.
Especially when you compare it to like what they lost.
Yeah.
I put Charlie Coyle for their biggest loss.
Same.
Yeah, I did center depth.
I was surprised he didn't get extended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I thought he fit pretty well.
I think that was a pretty big mistake. Maybe they couldn't make the money work. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah.
But I agree. I like the fit. I think they need center depth, and he's good.
Yeah. Yeah, could play either line of the middle six.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, either line of the middle six. He can play some winger too. I mean, another one of those flexible players that helps you when you have guys go out due to injury, because he can elevate his game. And then if he's your everyday 3C, you're so happy, which is what he would have been. Like that, I don't know. McKinnon, Nelson, Coyle would have been one of the best center depth in all of the NHL, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They really have to hope that Brindley shows out sometime soonish for Colorado. Especially if he plays at his World Juniors or Michigan level and not what he showed for Columbus's AHL, because he was terrible in the AHL in Cleveland. But at Michigan and at the World Juniors, he was really good. So
yeah, we'll see who rounds out their bottom six, because they're interesting.
I mean, that transitions to my biggest hole, which is bottom six wingers.
Yep, I put forward depth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's there. I mean, this is a contending roster that's really good, right? One of the best teams in the league. But Olofsson, Kiviranta, Kelly, and Yvonne, I mean, Kiviranta is like a 12th forward at best, playing third line, and then Olofsson is a decent goal scorer, but gives nothing else. Yvonne and Kelly,
Yeah, they lost Coyle and Drouin this offseason. We didn't mention Drouin in their losses because Coyle was bigger, but I mean that's another.
And Drouin also had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, for sure. So. But even still, and then even the guys that they do have left in Lehkonen and Landeskog and Nichushkin in their top, those are guys that are good, but are also have struggled with injuries and consistency and that kind of thing. So
Nate just wasn't a great fit at the deadline. We'll see if he with a full off season, figures it out. But
yeah, I mean this is the supporting cast here is a shell of what they were for their cup run, and their time is kind of running out. I kind of feel like
they're gonna need to do something pretty quick. And this is also assuming I'm not the biggest Brock Nelson believer that he's gonna be a good 2C on this team. I just kind of assumed that when I picked bottom six as a whole, but you could also say Brock Nelson as a 2C is dicey. for a Stanley Cup contending team, right?
I think
For a playoff contender, I think he's fine. But like, if you want to like win a cup, if you want to beat Florida, if you want to beat Edmonton,
he's not stacking up to Bennett and Draisaitl, right? So
yeah.
Okay. Hey, this is fun. I got Columbus next.
Yep.
Who'd you put for your biggest ad?
It's Charlie Coyle.
It's Charlie Coyle. Wow.
Yeah. Good middle six feet center.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
a bit of an odd fit here, I feel like.
We'll see.
You know, Fantilli, Monahan, Voronkov are all pretty good centers.
Yeah.
You know, one of them's probably moving a wing. Sillinger is also like a decent bottom six center. He's probably moving a wing. Mm-hmm. They added Lundestrom as well.
Yep.
Who's like
also probably going to play 4C.
So it's a bit odd to like be this stacked at center, but like as we've said before, and as Team Canada shows centers every time, just convert him to wing.
Yeah. No, I like this method of roster construction where you just have a ton of guys that can play all over the ice, and you just see who fits with each other because they've got all that flexibility. They've got guys that can play up and down. Is Fantilli the 1C? Is Monahan the 1C? I mean, Marchenko's the best winger on the team, but like, who gets to play with him, who plays with other things, who's elevating who, like, there's a lot of flexibility there. I really like the way that the forward group looks for Columbus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who's your loss? I'm interested.
I put James Van Riemsdyk.
Same.
Not like we just said. I think Charlie Coyle is a better fit on this team than James Van Riemsdyk. So, in terms of like actually giving them like productivity, right? So it was a loss, but I think net win for them. Mm-hmm. So
we'll see if it's a net win. He's still an effective. Like, I felt kind of weird like saying James Van Riemsdyk in 2025 is your biggest loss. Like, he was still a decent depth scorer.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
More limited than he was in Toronto and Philly, right, back in the day. But he's not fallen off the way some other guys that he was in his peak with around him. So
yeah, but I think
should open the door for some younger talent, which I think is good here.
Yeah, and I think Coyle can provide some of that like stability to let some of those young guys still get some goal scoring production. So
yeah.
All right,
and then their whole, I assume.
Yeah, it's goalie.
It's goalie. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the worst goalie tandem in the NHL, I think.
Yeah. A better goalie. I wrote word for word. A better goalie profile could have clinched a wild card playoff spot last season.
Yeah. No, I think you're 100% right. I think they could,
even as a league average guy, would have had them.
They could go for,
because I think they missed by 3 points, 5 points, like 1.5, 2.5 games they missed the playoffs. I mean, with the worst goaltending in the league, right?
With the worst goaltending in the league. I mean, they're just helpless when it comes to goaltending. They need something. So I don't know what they are gonna do to address it, but they need to. Mm-hmm. Like they need to address it. It's been too long that they haven't, and they look like they're actually quite a good team. So they need to have goaltending that is going to set them up for success.
Yeah. Next up, the Dallas Stars.
Yep.
Who did you pick for the ad?
I picked Glenn Galitzin.
Glenn Galitzin? Really?
Yep. I think he was a pretty good assistant coach for the Oilers. I like getting new fresh blood in there. I think Pete DeBoer lost the locker room. So
yeah.
So like you had to make a change. I think this was an interesting guy that could help them out. He ran the Oilers special teams, I want to say. I think he was their power play guy. And they had a really good power play. Obviously they have great players that helps with that, but like, he's showed himself to be a pretty solid coach. So I think he'll be an interesting ad for them. I didn't feel super comfortable putting anything else there. I think this is going to be the biggest game changer for me. That they needed some kind of shakeup, right? With how they've kind of hit a wall in the playoffs. So I think that's the kind of team that you want to see make some kind of coaching change.
Yeah. I think they definitely needed one. I think, they lost. Pete DeBoer lost the locker room. I'm not confident in Glenn Goldson. He was not good the first time as a Dallas coach.
Sure.
He was not good as Calgary's head coach. But he's been a good assistant. So is he one of those guys that's just like a really great assistant and never should be a head coach? Or is he a guy who maybe learned some things in his journey and is ready now? We'll see. My ad was Foxa. Bringing back good center depth.
Yep.
Should help the PK.
Yeah. Great.
The PK's been
great 4C.
solid. Yeah. Great 4C.
Great 4C.
Obviously familiar with Dallas and a lot of the team. He was a 4C for them a couple years ago. So yeah. Who'd you have for their loss?
I put Dadonov.
Same.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
I
bottom six players that can score 20 goals. I mean, that's what every contender wants, right?
I think Marchment was technically the bigger loss in terms of like on ice value, but I understood why they lost Marchment because they needed to shed some salary and he was making much more, right? So that at least made sense. But losing Dadonov for basically nothing and not even matching the $1 million that he's making, like
1 year, $1 million,
you couldn't do that.
Crazy.
I think that's crazy. I feel a lot worse about their bottom six depth comes injuries or whatever with him not there because like you said, those kind of goal scorers do not grow on trees. The guys that can play good bottom 6 minutes and score 20 goals, like come on.
Yeah, for $1 million, like every contender would jump on an opportunity to spend $1 million on 20 goals.
Yeah,
in the bottom six.
That's really good.
Except for Dallas, apparently.
I don't know. Yeah.
And their whole kind of fits in with that. For me, is middle six wingers.
Oh, I actually put defense depth.
Really?
I'm not a believer in Bush, and I'm not a believer in their bottom pairing. I think it's two young guys that haven't really shown it, and you need those good minutes from them. So I think they'll probably land on something. But if they have any kind of injuries this year too, I think their defense depth is just not there to cover for that. So even if it's not even like a Miro or a Harley injury, if it's a Asa Lindell injury, right? Like I mean they're just done for, right? So yeah.
I like Bichot a lot. I like Liam Bichot a lot. But yeah, Bush shouldn't be on the second pair, and Lundqvist is Who knows what he is with his injuries and his inconsistencies. Probably don't want to rely on him. For me, just with the middle six wingers, it's like you have Jamie Benn now looking at second line and Oscar Beck on your third line. Like those guys are playing a line too high. And especially if Robertson gets hurt or if they actually trade him.
Yeah.
And they don't get
if they trade Robertson and don't get an equivalent winger,
like if they trade Robertson for a defenseman, like their winger depth is suddenly like horrendous, right?
Yeah.
Sagan's going to get hurt on the other side, and then
and then Bork is a question mark.
Yeah, Bork's a question mark.
What he actually represents. He's probably a good bottom six winger, but does he have middle six winger in him? So they're hanging on by an edge. That Ben Duchesne Sagan line was so good though when everyone was healthy.
Yeah.
So you gotta hope that they can get a full season out, or at least most of a season and get to the playoffs healthy, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good one, I think. All right. Time for
the Detroit Red Wings.
Yep.
Who did you pick for their biggest ad?
I went with John Gibson.
Yep. I think that has to be it.
Yeah. At least they're trying.
It's the most qualified goalie.
Yeah. They went out and they picked up the best option that they had.
Yeah.
I don't know what John Gibson's going to be able to give him. We talked about it a little bit in our goalie tier list, but I mean, it represents an attempt to get better at a position of dire need. And I think like the Blue Jackets should have done something like this too. What'd they give up? I think it was a third for Gibson.
Yeah, something very agreeable.
Yeah, pretty reasonable thing. So I really like that move for him to at least try, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And he's the most qualified goaltender this team's had in years, right? Mm-hmm. They've been treading career backups and hoping to get, something. So it's just the question is he pre-COVID Gibson? Or is he post-COVID Gibson?
Yeah, I mean, if he's a serviceable goaltender for them, I think they could potentially be a playoff team. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Who'd you have for their biggest loss?
I put Jeff Petrie.
Yep.
He wasn't amazing for them, but like I just feel like he's gonna be so good on the Panthers, and that makes me so mad. like yeah. he was an acceptable bottom four guy, bottom pairing defenseman, but like he's just gonna look good on the Panthers, and it's gonna make me so upset.
Yeah, they didn't lose much this summer, so this is kind of like a default pick. And he didn't really fit some specific need on this team that they're going to be like, oh my god, what are we going to do without Petrie? But he was productive, and I think he's going to be productive in Florida.
Yeah.
And as we'll talk about probably in a second. What do you have for their hole? Because I think it's actually very funny to me what their hole is.
I put Sauce.
Okay.
I just feel like they don't have any sauce. Like the talent on paper is kind of there, but I don't see the X factor, that big thing that's gonna push him to the thing. I think Larkin is a good center, right? And who could win a cup, right? I think Raymond is a good winger who could potentially grow into that. And DeBrincat's a good goal scorer. They've got a lot of good pieces, right? We like Mo Sider a lot, right? But it's just as a whole, you look at the totality and you're like who's doing it? Who's getting you there?
Yeah.
Who's I don't know. That's what I was thinking. What did you put?
I put defense.
Okay.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Not Mo Sider, but it's this team has Ben Sherratt, Justin Hall, Eric Gustafson, Travis Hamonic. These are all 33 or to 35-year-old over the hill defensemen, all past their prime.
Yeah.
And these guys are placeholders on a team like this. On a contender, they're what Petrie's going to be in Florida, right? They're 6 defensemen. They kind of round you out, give you some veteran presence, somebody you can throw out there and not be like, oh my God, they're going to be 22 years old and throw away games, right? And this team has 4 of them in their probable top 6. These guys are placeholders for, Sandin Pellikka and Edvinsson and, anybody else, Wallander and Buium. These guys are all just placeholders for these young guys and maybe somebody else who hasn't been drafted yet, right?
Yeah. Maybe. I think Detroit wants to.
You don't want to trot out 4 of these guys.
Yeah, that's true.
You want to trot out 2 of these guys max on your third pair.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact you're going to have 2 of these guys on your second pair and 2 of these guys on your third pair, God forbid they put one of them with Sider on the top pair.
Who else will play with Sider?
You hope Edvinson's good enough.
Yeah, you gotta hope. Yeah, no, that's.
But maybe it's Sherratt on the top pair, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just no way that
they definitely want all those young prospects that you mentioned to magically get a couple years in them, so that they can come be here and do something. I think Edvinson's pretty good, so I think that's going to be a good thing for him in the future, and I think a lot of those prospects you mentioned will pan out. So the group looks good for the future, but right now it's a little bleak.
Yeah, or honestly, what they should have done is thrown a 2nd-round pick at Ottawa or LA to get Jordan Spence. This team doesn't need to draft more defense.
That's true. No,
really, a lot more players in general, right?
Jordan Spence.
So they can spend a 2nd and not feel it, or a 3rd and an extra 3rd, or a 3rd or 5th, whatever. Outbid the Senators. Jordan Spence instantly elevates this defense core. Not to being great, but to not be a bunch of old guys inside.
Something kind of exciting, like a Spence Edvinsson line, is like fun. You know, like there's sauce there.
Yeah, there's sauce in the second pair, right?
There's sauce there. Yeah. All right. I'm going to talk about the Oilers next, the Edmonton Oilers.
Who did you pick?
I picked Isaac Howard for their ad. I don't necessarily think Isaac Howard is the greatest player of all time that's going to change this roster completely, but like they traded a player who's not going to play on their team for a player that is going to play on their team this year and who can be a source of youth and get some winger depth into the system. Like I don't know how great he's going to be, but he's going to be something there. And so I liked that move for them a lot. You need young guys contributing to compete for a cup, and he could be that for them. So
I agree. He's the kind of guy who will probably start in the bottom six in a pretty limited role, maybe start in the minors depending on how his training camp goes. But like, he's the kind of guy I could see skyrocket up the lineup potentially. Yeah,
he could be. I'm probably going to be a middle six for him by the end of the season if I had to guess. And that would be a great. I mean, replacing
if he shows
Kasperi Kapanen in the middle six is a big boon for them. So
I mean, he could be if he could show some chem with McDavid and like be a first line guy who's maybe not a first line quality guy, kind of like a Zach Hyman, right? Who's not a first line winger but has great chem with McDavid. If Howard can be that, and then they could roll out like RNH, Draisaitl, Mangiapane second line, like
that sounds pretty.
Suddenly, this team is a lot deeper. So he could be that guy.
For my loss, I put Corey Perry.
Yep,
Corey Perry wins hockey games. He's just a winner.
Gets you to the Stanley Cup final.
Gets you to the Stanley Cup final. And now, I mean, the Oilers have beaten the Kings in the first round, 3 years in a row now?
Yep.
And now, I mean, based on Corey Perry, it might be the opposite way around. And that is terrifying if you're an Oilers fan.
Yeah. I think, luckily for the Oilers, the Kings didn't do a lot of good things outside of acquiring Corey Perry.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I think it's the biggest hole. And not just even in like Corey Perry's really good, but like just who's going to replace Corey Perry as that like reliable guy. They're going to fill it in with like Podkolzin, Mangiapane, Howard, Savoy, like these unproven guys that are kind of up and down. Yep. With Corey Perry, you knew what you were getting. Night in, night out, shift in, shift out. You know, Corey Perry, very definable, right? Yes. Skill set and what he brings to the team. A lot of the guys are going to look to replace him with not a very definable production skill set. So
yeah. All right, and then what do you have for their hole, Colin?
For their hole, it is it's goalie. It's goalie.
It's Stuart Skinner.
They somehow have gone into multiple summers saying, "Man, if only we had somebody better than Stuart Skinner," and they come out with Stuart Skinner.
I don't know how they keep doing this. It's crazy.
Like, yeah, you see the memes of like whenever teams trade away a good guy for like a pick, right? That's not that great, and you're like, oh, it's a mystery box. It could be anything. It could be the same guy. They somehow keep pulling Stuart Skinner. It's like, go for the mystery box.
Yeah, I think
it's not going to be worse. Yeah, much worse.
Right.
And it might be better than Stuart Skinner. It might be the same as Stuart Skinner.
Right.
But it's at least
you tried. Something. Yeah, it's something. It's some kind of change.
Like, man, they even get a different backup. Like, it's still Picker. Like,
it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Truly the definition of insanity. Trying the same thing over and over again. I mean, you get bounced in the finals twice in a row because your goalie sucks. Try something else.
Yeah, go get John Gibson.
Yeah, go get John Gibson. Do something.
Tristan Jarry. You know, is that better than Stuart Skinner? Probably not a lot, but you never know.
They could have gotten Artur Silovs.
Yeah, could have got Silovs.
Like, I don't like Silovs might not be, but like you at least try him as a backup and see if he can do something, right? Like,
exactly.
I don't know. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mismanagement of the highest degree. Maybe not the highest degree. We might get to some more, but very high levels.
We already talked about Buffalo.
Yeah. All right. Next up is the Florida Panthers. Their Stanley Cup opponents. For their ad, I put new contracts. They just they got the whole. I don't know how the league let this happen. Their whole core is signed for the next 5 years. Florida's not going anywhere.
Yep. I don't know how that Marchand contract didn't get challenged by the NHL.
Yeah.
They signed a 37-year-old to a 6-year deal. A 37-year-old undersized physical player to a 6-year deal, and the league was like, no, that's fine.
I don't know.
Like 3 years, sure. He could play to 40. Yeah. And then, sign him to 1-1-1. But, like, Marchand's not playing until 43. I don't think he believes that he's playing until 43.
Nah, I think he believes it.
Maybe. But, like, I don't
Crazy,
know.
though. But, yeah, the Florida's not going anywhere.
No.
What did you have for their loss?
I actually put for their addition is Jeff Petrie.
Oh, you did put Petrie for their addition.
I put Petrie, yeah. Like, look, Jeff Petrie is not prime Jeff Petrie.
Yeah.
But, like, he's still effective. He was still decent for Detroit, and he's going to play sheltered minutes on the third pair of this Florida
the third pair
super stacked blue line.
Oh, yeah.
As we talked about last episode.
He's going to look good.
And, yeah, he's going to fit in. He's going to fit in real nice on that third pair.
Yeah.
For their loss, I put Nate Schmidt, who Petrie's taking the spot of. And it's because somehow they didn't get brain drained in Florida. Like, they lost a backup goalie and their number 6 defenseman. Yeah. That's all they lost somehow. And they had a bunch of expiring deals. And, like, Nate Schmidt was the best player they lost somehow. And, like, he was good in Florida, but he's not that great. He's not irreplaceable.
I put a bunch of question marks.
Yeah.
Why didn't the Stanley Cup champs lose anything? This, like, every time. Yeah. It's
back to back.
Ridiculous. I don't know. It seems like negligence by the league, I got to say.
Yeah. I think the league tried. I think teams tried to get Sam Bennett.
Teams threw exorbitant amounts of money at Sam Bennett. Probably at Forsling was the one that signed backup, right? Or was it Ekblad?
Ekblad.
Ekblad was the one. Yeah.
Forsling was last cup.
That
he signed a reasonable deal.
Yeah, both of them on super duper reasonable deals. Yeah. Bennett signs on a reasonable deal. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's criminal.
What'd you put for the hole?
And their biggest hole, backup goalie.
Yeah.
Like, if 36-year-old Bob was to, if 36 is the fall off, or a veteran guy gets injured, I don't think Tarasov would be able to carry them to another cup.
Yeah. Bob is an important part of why they've been so successful in the playoffs. He's just been a really good playoff goalie. So they don't really have a replacement for that. And yeah, he's getting old. And they don't really have a replacement like for the future either, right? With trading away Knight, they kind of gave away their future, which I mean, makes some amount of sense because this is still like the now, and they've still got probably some years of Bob, but like, that is the one thing at the end of at the end of the 5 years that their whole core is signed for. Bob is not still going to be the same guy, so they're going to have to be to change that out at some point. But
they'll probably get somebody on a ridiculously cheap contract
for sure.
Has no business signing it.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be this year. I don't think this is the year that Bob goes away. Barring like injuries, but like in terms of like performance, I think they're going to get the same Bob. He's going to go into if he gets to the playoffs, I think it's going to be great. So
yeah.
All right. And next up, we can talk about the LA Kings.
Yeah. I assume we're talking about a player we just talked about a few minutes ago.
It's Corey Perry.
They're going to lose in the finals now. Congratulations, LA.
Yeah, I don't know if
you did it.
I don't know if they can do that, but I mean, Corey Perry wins hockey games. Good player.
Yeah.
Good player. Really good.
I mean, this is the guy you want to add for a team that's stuck in first round purgatory.
Yeah.
This is the kind of impact playoff guy that you want to add.
Yep.
To get to boost your team out of the playoff or out of the first round.
I just don't know that the Kings were there to are gonna be. I mean, I guess they were in the first round.
If the Kings
but I don't know that
only lost one winger and added Perry, I think this is a team that maybe doesn't beat Edmonton, right? But
could get out of the first round of the playoffs.
But their losses, I think each of us are going to talk about a different guy in the same section. Who'd you pick?
I put their fucking minds.
Okay. Okay.
So you can say yours because mine is inclusive of probably both of the guys. Did you pick Gavrikov or Spence?
I picked Gavrikov.
That's a fair. That's
it was
a fair pick.
Tough choice between him and Spence.
Right.
I picked Gavrikov because this is a team that's in their contention window.
Yeah.
And Gavrikov is a first pair, great defenseman.
Really
Spence
good defenseman.
Still developing. You know, if you had to lose one for a playoff run, you'd want to lose Spence over Gavrikov. But I mean, they're both big losses, especially when you replace them with Brian Dumoulin and Cody Ceci.
Yep, that's what I said. You lose Gavrikov, Spence. You replace them with Brian Dumoulin, Cody Ceci. Both are on terrible contracts. Both are washed beyond belief.
Yep.
Like what? They got older and worse.
Yeah. Somehow.
Crazy.
And I mean, I haven't done the math. Might not even gotten cheaper.
I'm not.
I know Gavrikov got a raise, but Spence is still on a very favorable contract.
Yeah, if
they might not have gotten cheaper.
Yeah, if it's any cheaper, it's not a appreciable.
Not worth
amount.
it.
Yeah. So what'd you put for their whole?
I put first pair defense.
Yeah,
like Clark is the first pair right D of the future, hopefully for them. Like Doughty can still play well when healthy, but you probably shouldn't be putting him out for 20 to 25 minutes a night. If you're not putting him out for that many minutes a night, you probably have a lot less concerns with the health. And then Mikey Anderson, second pair guy.
I love
Brian
Mikey
Dumoulin.
Anderson. Get it. Take his.
Yeah, but are you getting excited about Mike Anderson?
No, I mean he's just a complimentary piece.
Yeah. Brian Dumoulin, he's a third pair guy at this point. Cody Ceci, third
has
pair,
the best
or
agent in the NHL.
Absolutely, has the best agent in the NHL. He's a third pair, or maybe even you don't want him in the lineup at all.
Yeah.
And then Joel Edmondson, a fine 60.
Yeah.
And Drew Doughty, this is your defense.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah, I put management as the whole because I just don't see how this could have possibly happened. I think this is probably Kopitar's last year, and
very feasibly.
This is the team that you're gonna tread him out with. And if it's not his last year, if he plays one more, this is the team next year too. You know what I mean? These are the pieces that they've got. I just think that's a travesty of a way to treat him. When you're right, they if they had just added Corey Perry, and don't get matched into the Oilers in the first round, they could very well get to the second round, maybe even to the conference finals.
If somebody takes care of Edmonton,
there's a world where they were a piece or two away from and some luck. Kemper can do it in the playoffs, right? Kopitar's great still and can still hang in the playoffs. Those are the kind of guys that can win you games, and they just threw a lot of it away in a way that just doesn't really make any sense. And I don't know. And
looking to next summer, everybody's talking about how great this free agent class is, and you got these huge names McDavid and stuff in there. Kempe is one that with this management group could actually leave, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these guys that everybody's salivating over are probably going to sign their extensions, right? And stay with the team.
I could see Kempe wanting out for sure.
I could see Kempe wanting out, or I could see LA being dumb enough to move him.
Yeah.
And there's a 35 to 40 goal scorer on the market, and they're probably going to get below value.
Yeah, yeah. Tough day to be a Kings fan.
Yeah, for sure.
We're talking about the Minnesota Wild next.
Yeah, the Minnesota Wild.
Who did you put for your ad?
I don't feel great about this, but I put Tarasenko.
Yeah, I put Tarasenko.
He is super washed.
Yeah.
Super washed. But as a depth scorer, somebody who can play on the second power play unit.
Yeah. They've got good defensively responsible guys to put on lines with him so that he can just be a goal scorer. He is washed, but I think he's got some gas left in the tank to offer if this is a good fit.
Yeah.
If this is a good fit for him, which I think it could be, I think it was a low risk move.
Yeah.
But that brings me to the loss where I put Mitch Marner.
Okay.
Because to me, this was a team. They were never linked to Marner. This is the team that like needs like that elite like thing. Like they need some elite forward to like actually make this, because it's Kaprizov and Co out there, you know. And Marner isn't a center, and I think they really do need a 1C. That's my whole. Really we'll get there, but like. I don't know that this seemed like the team that was like primed to really need to like spend big. I want to see them spend big. I don't want to. This is Kaprizov's contract year, right?
Yep, one of those guys.
One of those guys that we talked about, right? I think he'll sign an extension, but like, wouldn't you feel a lot better about him signing an extension if you went out and got him a player to play with? You know, so I don't know the. What did you have for their whole? I'm assuming it wasn't Mitch Marner.
No, I went with Marc-Andre Fleury.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like Wallstedt should be able to develop into at least a quality backup, right? And moving Fleury out of the way makes sense. Plus, Fleury retired; they didn't fail to keep Fleury, right?
Right.
But like, he was still a quality backup. Had a positive win-loss, right?
Yeah.
Had above 900 save percentage.
No,
And like he was also backup. A heart and soul guy on the team. He was, you know,
don't have to convince me.
Yeah, one of the exciting guys on the team. One of the guys that I don't know. I think he was a fan favorite, and you just kind of lose that. And on the ice, maybe not the biggest loss, but I just think, you know, for the whole vibe of the team, you know. Who's going to be the heart and soul leader going forward? You know, that there's a void. Maybe they fill it. Maybe there's a guy who steps into it. But you know, we'll see.
It's Brock Faber.
Maybe.
Love Brock Faber. What'd you put for your hole? I put 1C.
Yeah, 1C. Look, we are two of the leaders of the Joel Eriksson fan club.
Yeah.
Right.
Love Joel Eriksson. Yeah. Not a 1C.
Not a 1C.
Hey, maybe if there was any line that he could do it on though, Kaprizov, Marner. Yeah. Come on.
I mean, yeah.
Anyone could be 1C on that line.
True.
That's what I'm saying, you know? No, but yeah.
Maybe Rossi becomes that guy.
I don't think they're going to give him a chance to become that guy. I'm not convinced that he couldn't be that guy, that he couldn't be a 1C, but like he just isn't getting the time on Kaprizov's line. He's not getting the favorable like zone matchups. Like they're burying him with like because their depth isn't that great. That they've got other issues too. But like I don't know. I wish that I had more confidence in Rossi's trajectory. I think he might get traded still this season because of the contract that he signed. He just signed his 3 years, $5 million or something like that. Yep. Very movable contract. No trade protection. Right. I kind of there is clearly a disagreement in the camps, right? And then they come to this agreement. You kind of got to think that maybe the writing is on the wall for Rossi there. If you're the Wild, I think you're hoping that you can move him and assets to get a better, like to get a 1C. That's like the dream for them. I don't know what that deal is going to look like, but that's what they're trying to do. So all right. Okay.
Next up, Montreal.
Yeah.
Canadiens. Assume we have the same edition.
Noah Dobson.
Yep.
I love Noah
as
Dobson.
The president of the Noah Dobson fan club, you know, what do you think of this?
I'm so glad he's out of New York Islanders jail.
Yeah.
I think that the defense core for the Canadiens is very solid now. They have two really good, really young defensemen that you know, Lane Hudson and Noah Dobson are going to be awesome. They get to have one of those guys out on the ice most of the time. But Noah Dobson never really got a chance to play his game, I think, in New York. Yeah. And I think the Canadiens are a lot younger. They're a lot more exciting. They've got a lot of like really good playmakers and goal scorers, and there's a lot of good things here. And I think this is gonna be really good for Noah Dobson.
Yeah. He's finally gonna get a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Right on
he's gonna suck, and then I'm gonna renounce my membership.
Or he's gonna be the exact same player, and it's like, well, maybe it wasn't the Islanders. Maybe it's just Noah Dobson.
I don't know. Even if he is the same player that he was, which was just like a solid power play quarterback with like good offensive potential, I think that's still a good move for them to get that kind of player on their roster. So
yeah, I think he also fits like he is up in his prime or right around it.
Yep.
Whereas like the rest of the roster is like very young, or declining vets. And he kind of is that guy who's like
he and
prime,
Suzuki are like right in their primes right now, and then they're gonna have all these young guys that are coming in. So,
who'd you have for their loss?
I put David Savard.
Okay.
I think that the one thing that their defense core doesn't really have is like a defensive defenseman. Like the Savard was like their primary PK guy. I don't think they have like a 1-to-1 replacement for that right now.
Yeah.
And so maybe their special teams will hurt a little bit for it. I think that they'll figure something out. I don't think Savard was like an incredible player or on a great contract or anything like that, right? But he had his role in the team, and they don't really have someone to fill those shoes right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you pick?
I put Logan Mailloux or Milo. They have a wealth of young defense talent. And I think acquiring Bolduc is a great addition to this lineup.
Yeah, we could have easily talked about him instead of Dobson. Like, he is like probably a top 5 addition, right? It's just that Dobson is a better addition. Maybe one of the top 1 or 2 of the probably after
Marner.
Yeah. But you're probably number 2. So
yeah. But they might regret losing Milo over. I don't know how many other options they had of their young defensemen to make that kind of a deal. But Milo might end up being better than like Reinbacher or Goulet or any of these other guys that they kept. So
for sure,
it's a question mark, but it's a talented question mark.
So. They definitely Milo guy not going to be as good. Like next, like soon, right? But they could miss out on it in the future for sure. What did you put for their hole?
A 2C.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's the hole that like everybody in media is trying to put McTavish into, like or any other 2C that's on the market. They're all trying to link Rossi to it. Doc, he's talented, but he's just never healthy. He's not a guy you can rely on.
Doc just doesn't have the availability to do that role. Yeah. And Bolduc probably doesn't have is not a center, so he gives him some,
definitely not yet at least.
Yeah, it gives him some forward, like some juice on that line, but they don't really have a 2C. I suspect this year will be the year that they, depending on how their season goes, that they try and spend for one at the deadline. We'll see. Maybe they acquire somebody from Boston, one of their multitude of mediocre player, like a Casey Middlestad or a Pavel Zacha or something like that. Like one of those guys, not going to be elite 2Cs like that are going to win him a cup, but like can serve the role while Doc is not there, not healthy. Yeah. So there's my prediction. All right, and then let's skip the Predator. No. Do we really have to talk about the Predators?
I mean, we can make this quick. I assume the addition is Nick Perbix.
Yeah, Nick Perbix is pretty good depth D-man. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't move the needle.
No. Also, very decent contract, so is very movable if Nashville continues to suck.
But they're not going to move him, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's your loss?
I went with Del Gaizo.
Okay.
He's a solid 6D, 7D extra for the Preds. They have the defensive depth to withstand the loss, but like he showed out as like a decent emergency option.
Yeah, I put Colton Sissons. I think he's he's okay fourth line player.
Yeah,
kind of the same boat, just like he's a guy. He's fine. And what'd you put for your hole?
1C.
Yeah, it's Steven Stamkos.
I mean, this top 6 is not terrible.
Yeah.
If you put Stamkos on the second line wing,
Yeah.
and you get a real 1C in here, and suddenly this top six is like kind of sort of a little bit cooking.
Yeah, and then you have like a healthy year out of Roman Yossi. Like you
Yeah.
could and a good year like that. That
You
could
have
actually
Forsberg,
be
X, Marchessault, and then like Evangelista, O'Reilly, Stamkos. Like that's pretty decent.
yeah, that is decent. But
We're not
you
winning the cup,
Yeah,
but
there's
like we're not third worst team in the league.
yeah, but that player is not available to them.
No,
you know
no.
that guy
He's
is
not on
just
the
not
roster.
going to happen. So
Unless
they're-
Svechkov makes a crazy leap.
yeah,
Right.
I just don't see it. So
But yeah.
all right, Devils, New Jersey
Yeah.
Devils. For their ad, I put Dadonov.
Okay.
He was the loss
Yep.
for the Stars. I put him as the ad here. We said it. 20 goal scorers in the bottom six don't grow on trees. And
Yeah.
if there's anything that the Devils needed, it was depth.
Yeah.
And so here's another guy who can score goals for him. So who'd you pick?
Yeah. I picked Connor Brown. In a similar vein.
Yeah.
He brings a little more physicality, which I think the Devils kind of need some sandpaper in the forward group specifically.
It's super reasonable.
And he has playoff experience, which the Devils need some of that. Inconsistent production, but for this team, they should have the production to where you could have a physical playoff guy like Connor Brown be a big ad.
Yeah. Who'd you put for their loss?
Brian Dumoulin?
Yeah. It feels bad because I don't know. Yeah, weird. I don't think Dumoulin is like incredible, but this is a team that had so many defense injuries and are going to have some coming in, and having a guy that's a serviceable NHL defenseman that is not on your roster anymore, it just makes it a little harder.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's bad that they lost Dumo, right? Because you make room for Nemitz. You have, 6 other guys that are very good. But I think their blue line gets a little bit worse without him.
Yeah. I mean,
particularly a blue line that has Dougie Hamilton, who's probably going to get hurt, right?
Yeah, just who
and
knows
Kovacevic
how
is
many
coming in injured.
How many games is this blue line going to miss this year, and how many
Yeah.
of those games could you have thrown Brian Dumoulin in to get reasonable NHL quality defense work instead of I wouldn't be surprised if they have multiple injury, like if Hamilton and Kovacevic are both out at the same time, right? And then you're like, we really need that depth. So
especially if Nemitz comes in and struggles.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, who are you going to put out? Who are you going to put out there for
anchor.
20 minutes if it's not Brian Dumoulin, who had their most playoff minutes, by the way? Led the team in minutes in the playoffs, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But that's just how beat up they were, right? So.
Yep.
And for their whole leading into that, I put health. I don't think this is a good team on paper. They just haven't put together a healthy Jack Hughes season. They haven't put together a healthy anybody season. Dougie Hamilton is probably gonna miss time. Like if they can get everyone healthy to the playoffs because they were healthy during the regular season, like they're a contender. They have Hughes and Hischier. That's one of the best 1-2 center punches in the NHL. They have good pieces around them. They've got one of the best defense core in the NHL. They have serviceable goaltending from Markstrom if he's not injured. But you know what I mean? Like it's that all the pieces are here. They're just always injured. So
yeah. I put 2 things, right? So I put the more tangible thing of top 6 wingers because Palat and Nason probably shouldn't be in your top 6 at this point. Nason probably never, and Palat not at this point in his career. Those are nice third line wingers, and then you have some sexier players on your second line. But I also put for a non tangible answer injury luck.
Yeah,
they just need to be healthy.
Yeah.
The New York Islanders. Who did you put?
I put Matteo Darche.
I like that.
Lou Lamoriello sucks.
Yeah, he does.
They cleaned house. They got some good, exciting new prospects, and hopefully there will be a change in how they're doing things. I think like we've said before, they had a great start. There's a great start to their rebuild, retool, whatever you want to call what it is that they're doing, but they need to clean house in order for that to happen. So
yeah. I put Schaefer. I could have put Drouin. Right, Drouin makes this team up front a bit better.
Yeah.
But I think just Schaefer, just like not just Schaefer himself, but just winning the lottery is just something that changes this franchise a little bit.
Yeah.
From where they were, and also a bit the Noah Dobson trade. But going into to start the summer, this is a team where you're like, this is.
Yeah.
This is terrible. This is a wasteland.
They were pitiful. They were drafting 15th, 16th, something like that, right? That was their only pick, and they're like, you're gonna have to do that. But yeah, you're right. Winning the lottery.
They look like they're in like a no man's land, mushy middle. Like we're not bad enough to get a high pick, but we suck too much to make the playoffs, and we have no prospects.
Yeah.
And what are we doing? So then you win the lottery. Now it's like, okay,
there's more going on.
You get Schaefer, and this is like now your new guy. You're like, okay, this is the kind of talent that is gonna take us out of this mushy middle.
Yeah. What'd you put for your loss?
I mean, it's Noah Dobson.
Yeah, it's Noah. I mean, we already talked about why we love Noah Dobson. Yeah. He's really good. I'm still not convinced that this team couldn't have made it work with him, but I love what they did with the trade. It made a lot of sense. They picked up some very good guys where they got those picks from. So I mean,
Schaefer, Eklund, and Aitchison make this hurt way less than if they just lost Noah Dobson. Like if he lost him as a UFA, they'd be feeling this way more
terrible. But they got adequate value, I think, for Noah Dobson. I mean, maybe some of that is winning the lottery and getting Schaefer, right, who's actually the replacement there. But even
if you give him like the 9th pick and they pick Roger McQueen or whatever, and then they trade Dobson to get Aitchison, Eklund, like I think you're still feeling pretty good.
Yeah, that's
as
pretty
a franchise.
Good. What'd you put for your hole?
1C. I mean, this talent, like, there's a surprising amount of talent on this roster.
Yeah, it's not a terrible roster.
It's not. It's better than like anything Chicago has or San Jose, Pittsburgh, but like,
I think right now they're lacking in the blue line department. That's what I put. Was that I think like the blue line depth and like. Pelech Pulak is not a good first pairing. I don't think Schaefer is making the team this year and actually making any difference, right? Yeah. So there's not really there's not really that there. So, but 1C Horvat's good, but probably not the 1C of their future. And Barzal, not convinced he's a center.
No, same. I think he's best on the wing. Especially if you want a healthy Barzal, which I assume that they do. Yeah. Next up, the New York Rangers. Who did you have for their big addition?
I put Mike Sullivan.
Okay.
Sully's still a good coach. Penguins have a really bad roster. I think the Rangers needed a little bit of a change behind the bench, and I mean, Sully has done it before, where he's come into a new team and had good success. I mean, that's how the Penguins worked, right? So I like that as a pickup for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the guy that's going to be able to push them over the edge if they're good enough.
Yeah.
I went with Gavrikov. They found Fox a great partner.
Yeah.
And it's
a great fit.
This should kind of elevate Fox and now allow him to play the 200-foot game and Gavrikov kind of take care of more of the defensive side and not put it all on Fox, which is going to be a big change for this blue line from where it was last year.
Who'd you have for their biggest loss?
I had Keandre Miller. It's the only like big ticket subtraction they had. And he's talented. He needed a change of scenery. It kind of started not working out towards the end, and maybe Scott Morrow is going to be great and replace him in the future. And Gavrikov's a good fill-in now. But still a loss of talent for a non-playoff team is generally not great.
I think Gavrikov improves their that top pairing because I think he and Fox are going to be a really good fit together. But I think Keandre Miller is still like a piece that you want to have. We talked about it a little bit when we talked about Carolina, but he's just he's gonna bring some energy. He's gonna bring a skilled play to like a lower pairing. And I don't love the defense depth of the Rangers. So
Is that the biggest hole for you?
That is actually my biggest hole. Yeah, that was my hole. What did you have for your hole?
I had bottom six forwards.
Okay.
Yeah. This bottom six is pretty not great. Berard, he looked decent as a 35-game rookie, but that's a mystery box. Rash and Rempe, they're fine fourth liners. Rempe, whenever he's not getting suspended every game,
right?
But like Parsonen, Carrick, Edstrom, Brzezinski, these are all negative players that you probably don't want in your NHL lineup.
Yeah,
at most you want one of those in your fourth line.
I wonder if they can get something going with like a Zibanejad third line center or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like maybe mix things up and get there, because you're right, that third line is not very good.
No, unless Berard takes like a huge leap, which always could happen. Maybe Gabe Perreault, figures it out, but he looked really bad in the 5 games he played last year with New York, and I wouldn't be surprised if he starts in the AHL, and kind of gets his feet under him there, or maybe it's just an off season of NHL level workouts and training camps. He'll be ready to go. So.
Yeah, I was worried about. I think Will Borgen is not super great as like on that. You don't really want him on your second pairing, I think.
Yeah.
Susie is pretty good. So that's good. But Borgen not the best. And then Morrow, Schneider, Vakanainen is
Vakanainen. Yep.
Yes, Vakanainen. Jesus Christ. These are guys that. Not particularly proven, not particularly, experienced. You want some young guys, but you don't want your whole bottom four to be guys that are not proven commodities when you're the New York Rangers trying to win a cup, because that's ultimately their goal, right? This is a team that is there. They had a very bad year last year, but they think they're close, and if they're relying on hard minutes from Will Borgen, Scott Morrow, Braden Schneider, something's gonna give, I think.
Yep.
So.
All right. So next up, the Ottawa Senators. I assume we probably have the same addition, Jordan Spence.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know
they
how
got
you
him
get
for free.
A 3rd-round pick for a 23-year-old right D that's like on the verge of being like a top pair guy. A 3rd and a 6th, sorry, a 6th round as well.
Yeah, well, that really
paid the
makes
price.
I mean, this Jordan Spence was basically free for them to acquire. But yeah, I mean, they upgraded their defensive depth. This is a guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets some ice time with Sanderson at some point. That'd be a sick pairing. He also could just be there on the second pairing. How do you just get a free Jordan Spence? It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
And like for a young guy, he's very good in his own zone. And I think there's a more ceiling to give in the offensive side. Yeah,
I mean, I don't think he's ever gonna be like a. I don't think he's ever gonna be like a Norris caliber defenseman, but I think his ceiling is probably that of like a very solid complementary first line defenseman. He plays the opposite side as Sanderson. They're about the same age. Like that seems like it's gonna work out maybe in the future. But even for right now, since Sanderson's further along, he still just improves the depth. He gives you good minutes, and he's got a ton of room to grow. It's so stupid from the Kings to just for Cody Ceci. For Cody Ceci, that's who you wanted. Oh my god.
Who'd you have as their biggest loss?
They put Adam Gaudet.
Yeah,
he was one of their primary PK guys, almost had a 20-goal season.
Yep.
Good depth guy.
One of their better playoff producers in the series against Toronto last season.
Yeah, I mean the depth on this team is okay, but you're never hurting for guys like that, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're crying. They lost Gaudette. But I think he's definitely the biggest loss of the guys that they lost. Since they didn't trade anybody for Jordan Spence.
Right. Yes. Since that was a free acquisition. Yes.
What'd you have for their hole? I'm curious. This lineup looks pretty nice on paper. Not amazing, but pretty nice.
I put top end wingers. Like, I think they're like one or two top 6 wingers away. Like, Zetterlund is probably not really a top line winger. The corpse of David Perron should not be anywhere near a top 6 role on your team. Maybe there'll be some corpse of Claude Giroux in the top 6. I don't think so, but like that's another option that they're
the injury or two.
Yeah, exactly. He's like next guy up, right? So there's a lot of guys here. I think they need 1 or 2 more pieces.
Yeah.
In that top 6, because I think the depth here is decent. Pinto is a 3C. They picked up Lars Eller to be their 4C. Right. We talked about how much we love Lars Eller. Like, we got. I don't know. It's a good group of guys.
Yeah.
I just think you'd love for Perron to be on that third line instead of on the second. And I don't know, maybe Grieg gets there, maybe he doesn't, but like I don't know. I want to see them have one more good piece.
Yeah.
What did you put?
I have just consistency from their top players. Like Kachuk, Stützle, Zetterlund, Cousins, Shabbat, all really great players.
Yeah.
All have been kind of inconsistent. None of them have really hit what, most people think is their ceiling.
Right.
Maybe they have, and the expectations need to lower a little bit. But I think if you can get those 5 guys to all kind of play towards the top of their ceiling at the same time and be healthy, this team could be a real threat.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
They just kind of need everybody to
and
hit it the right time.
Good year from Olmark as well, who's a goalie that can get it done. So. All right. Next up, it's the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yep.
Woo! Who'd you put as your biggest ad?
Trevor Zegras.
Yep, I put Zegras as well.
He's a flawed player. Does he fit traditional Flyers hockey? Not at all. But like he's instantly like one of the top 3 most talented players on this roster.
Yep, and
before
he's
he touches
also
the ice,
the most exciting. They need
debatably
something
with Michkov. Yeah,
they need something to get people to show up, right? So,
yeah.
I don't think he is a center long term. I don't think he solves any of their center depth long term issues. Like, I don't even think he's like their 2C of the future. But I mean, he's a skilled winger that needed a change of scenery, and the Flyers are hurting for talent. So I think that was they paid nothing.
Yeah,
like literally nothing. It was it a third? Was it even a third?
I think it was a 4th, but I could be wrong on that.
We're considering 3rd round picks to be free, so
I mean pretty much.
I mean, yeah, if you get one for like, you'd rather have a guy that you can see that you can try and develop now than a 3rd round pick that you're gonna potentially be able to develop, in 2 years' time, basically on your NHL roster. So
yeah, a 2nd and a 4th.
A 2nd and a 4th. Okay, so a little less or a little more than nothing, but still basically free, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, I thought that was a great pickup for them. If you're a team that needs talent, you take whatever talent you can get, whether it's premium, whether it's a project, like whatever it is. I think Zegras is. Yeah. I think I'm excited to see what Zegras will do with the change of scenery, because he's gonna get good opportunities on this team just because there aren't that many skilled players ahead of him, right? So he's gonna, and on Anaheim, he was jumped by by like Leo Carlson, by like
McTavish.
by McTavish, right? They had just so much young talent that there's not enough space to give these top minutes to these guys. But on the Flyers, like, he's gonna have every opportunity in the world to reprove himself.
Yeah, especially potentially at center with Michkov and Konechny as a line.
Yeah,
that line sounds kind of dicey on the defensive end, but like
that line's going to give up a lot
scoring.
of goals, but it could be extremely fun to watch. Could be extremely good at putting pucks in net. So
yeah. For their loss,
who'd you have? Who was their coach before this year? Can we? It's
not Rick Tocchet. Rick Tockett's a new coach.
Yeah, I was. So my thing was, is it?
Oh, it was
Brad
Torts,
Shaw?
wasn't it?
Oh, was it Torts? I don't know.
Well, there's Torts and then an interim. I don't remember who the interim was.
Okay, my loss is that they hired Rick Tocchet. I think that was a bad move. I don't think he's going to be a good coach for a team that is rebuilding. I don't think he's going to be a good coach for a team that is nowhere close to having like an identity. I don't think he's going to provide them with any of those things. I don't know that he couldn't be a good coach somewhere else, but I don't like that fit for this team.
Yeah.
So that's what I put.
He would have been a great ad for like a Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
Like on the edge, and they just need like someone to make like the little tweaks that they need to.
Yeah, another potential change. Yeah, if those guys had swapped their head coach hirings, maybe that would have been better for both teams. But this was not the move for the Flyers. I don't think. I think in 2 years he's gonna get fired again because of some dumb shit that's gonna happen, and and no one's gonna be happy. You know, the young players are not gonna have the consistency that they need, like, you know, in systems and stuff. I don't like it.
Yeah. I had Ryan Poehling. He was a half a point per game player for the Flyers, you know, and a penalty kill guy on the defensive side. You know, does this team need like a half a point per game penalty killing bottom six guys? Like, is that going to make or break this team? Absolutely not, right? But I mean, it's a guy who was productive on a Flyers team that was not very productive. So we'll see if Zegras produces more. Should, but you never know.
Yeah. And what'd you put for your hole? I want to see how you phrased it.
I put top six center.
Yeah. Okay. Reasonable. I put just centers.
Okay. I mean,
but you know,
Couturier is a good 3C.
Yeah. So they need 2 top 6 centers, right? So that's why I put centers, right? They need a 1C and a 2C. In my mind. So you know, yeah, you're right. Couturier, a good 3C. Noah Cates could also be a good 3C potentially. You know,
Dvorak could, like, I put like they have 3 Cs and they're hoping Zegras is a C, but he's really a wing. So they have probably like a second line left winger and 3 Cs down the middle.
Yeah, that's
which is not ideal.
No, far from ideal. So they need to get some top end talent. They got some good talent in the draft, but I'm not sure that they found their 1C of the future this year. So no, I think they're gonna be bad again this year, and then they'll get another go at it. So.
Yeah, and if you inject 2 like top 6 centers into this lineup, this top 6 is really nice.
Yeah.
Michkov, Konechny, Zegras, Tippett on the wings, like that. That's a good top 6 wing group. It's just they don't have anybody in the middle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's solid. All right, and next up, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yep.
Woo! Actual woo this time instead of, you know, but who did you have for their ad?
I went Anthony Mantha.
Okay.
It's not fun, but you know, you put him with Sid for half a season, like you can get a return for him.
Yeah.
You can sell him off, you know. You put him with Sid, maybe the corpse of Malkin, and you know, don't bury him on the fourth line. There's no point, even though that might be what he is worth.
He's gonna get his opportunities on this team, who just doesn't have enough talented wingers, and probably has 1 to 2 of them going out this year in Rust and Raquel. So if one of those guys gets traded and Mantha replaces them on the top line, then with Sid, like, you know, he could have decent showing if he stays healthy, and then they could get second for him even, you know?
Yeah.
That could be that, like, that's good. I mean, they got a second for Anthony Beauvillier, who played with Sid for a little bit while Rust was injured, and people were like, oh, yeah, the Capitals decided that was a top 6 piece for them. So
yeah.
I put Artur Silovs, actually.
Okay.
I really liked the get for Pittsburgh. They do have goalkeepers in the pipeline. Blomqvist is played some last year, played a lot in the AHL. Murashov needs some AHL time to develop because he looks really promising. But Silovs basically just gets to come in and be the backup to Jari, show what he can do in the NHL. Might even get some starting stuff because, you know, it's Jari.
Yep.
Sometimes he just blows it up. But I mean, it's not a great group of defenders in front of him to, like, keep things easy for him, but he's going to get his chance to show what he can do. So I like that, and I like it for Pittsburgh too, because it means Blomqvist isn't going to be the one to get shelled, because I think he's just a little bit further away than Silovs is. So Blomqvist gets another a year, or maybe only a half a year. I don't know. We'll see how much AHL time he gets to make plays for Marshall. But it just makes sense for the organizational goaltending depth. I thought it was a cool ad because they traded away Nedeljkovic, and I was like, oh, why would you trade away Nedeljkovic? But then you bring in Silovs, and it's like, I mean, this is just Nedeljkovic with upside, right?
Yeah.
So I liked that pick. Who did you put for your loss?
I put Nedeljkovic.
Okay. You know, reasonable.
Just like, I feel like you can get a better return than a 2028 third for a very proven backup goalie.
Yeah,
and a very dry goalie market.
Yeah, we talked about backup goalies a little bit earlier, and like it's useful to have. And Nedeljkovic is a very good backup goalie. Has proven it. He's not going to outshine your stars. Would have been like great for like Calgary or something, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Especially if he held him till training camp or preseason, and it's like somebody gets injured,
there's
or
an injury, or someone looks really bad.
Yeah, and then you can be like, "Hey, we're the only ones. We got this little nice Nedeljkovic here."
Yeah, it was. I wish they'd gotten more for him, but I'm happy to roll in with Jari Silovs instead of Jari Nedeljkovic.
Oh yeah.
So net positive. For their loss, I actually put Vasily Ponomarev. He is a prospect. I don't think he never even played an NHL game for them, but he was gonna this year probably. But he ended up going to the KHL.
Yeah.
So he might come back still, but he's a center prospect that was doing pretty good stuff in the AHL in his first year. So it's gonna be tough for an organization that is this devoid of talent to it's tough to lose a prospect, even if they're probably just like a bottom 6 guy. You know, I still liked him. So there's plenty of other young players in the system that are gonna get their chances. Like a Philip Hollander now gets a shot. We got
similar
Tristan
to Ponomarev, a guy that went back overseas, and has now come back.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so and then
it's not Tristan over for Ponomarev, right? It's possibly over.
It's just. This was probably, maybe not this year, but like next year, basically the entirety of the Penguins' bottom 6 forwards are all expiring. So that was when a ton of the talent from their AHL team was going to get their big break. So Ponomarev would have gotten a break, I'm sure, this year. But yeah. All right, what about holes? What do you have for holes?
So, like, kind of their entire defense, but specifically their 1D, and of both now and the future. This team doesn't have a 1D right now. Absolutely not. As much as, Erik Karlsson might look good on specific plays, they're cherry picks. And like,
if you just take his highlights, you never look at the lowlights, you know.
And like Brunicki looks nice, but he's probably not a 1D. He's probably a 2D, maybe a really good 3D.
I think he's probably a complementary piece on a first pairing.
Yeah.
If you had to, I don't think he has like pure takeover ability there, but I mean, you
never know.
Kid's a great skater. He played with Schaefer on the Canada's top pairing, right? At Hilgarinsky. So like, you know, I think that's the kind of role he could have, where he had you pair him with a guy like that, he can keep up, you know?
Yeah.
I agree with you. I put left-handed defenseman like as like an NHL level thing. So they have Owen Pickering is their top left-handed defense prospect, who played a little bit in the NHL last year. It looked okay, but then they sent him back down to the A because the NHL team's just bad, you know. So then they're trying to put him with some winners. So we'll see if he makes a good case for his spot. I'm hoping that he does in training camp, that he's going to make the team. But the rest of the Pens' left side of their defense is bad.
Yeah, it's
we've got Ryan Graves, you know, who has looked terrible. We've got Ryan Shea, who's probably a 7D at best.
Yep. Good call, guy.
We got Parker Wotherspoon, who is coming off a really bad year with the Bruins. Maybe he can have a little bit of a bounce back, but I'm not super duper, you know.
Sold on that.
Yeah, not sold on that. And then Alex Alexiev, who is
I thought about picking him for the biggest ad.
Yeah, but he's like kind of just a 7D again. Like maybe he's got a little more, but I don't know. We'll see. None of those players are players that I would want on my playoff team at all. Like I wouldn't want them on the ice, and they are all gonna be on the ice for the Penguins this year. So it's pretty brutal. Hopefully Pickering can look a little better than he did last year, make some improvements with his skating and stuff, so that he can come in and play at the NHL level and be a reasonable guy. I think he's got a decent ceiling for him. You know, I think he could be a good NHL player, but you know, it's going to take time for that, and the talent that he's surrounded with is not great because, you know, behind Carlson is Letang and Clifton on the right side, and maybe some Matt Dumba. It's bad out there.
Yeah, it's really dire on that blue line. Just in general, everywhere.
Yeah. All right.
Speaking of dire blue lines.
Yep.
The San Jose Sharks. Who'd you have for their big addition?
I put Alex Nedeljkovic.
Okay.
Yeah, we just talked about. So Nedeljkovic, great backup. Not going to steal the spotlight from Askarov. He's not the starter, but he's going to be able to come in and, you know, he can make starts if Askarov is getting shelled and needs a little bit of a break.
Yep. And
he's not going to steal the show. Askarov gets to do whatever it is he wants to do. We'll get to see a full season, hopefully, of Askarov being a full-time starter. So
yeah. Or if you need to tandem them, then Nedeljkovic is a good tandem guy.
Exactly.
You need to go 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
I put Dmitry Orlov. He had a rough playoffs for the Hurricanes, but like he is instantly the best defenseman on this team.
Yeah, it's not close.
even this slightly washed Dmitry Orlov is still the best defenseman on this team. So
yeah,
he's the best defenseman on either of the two teams we've talked about in the. Maybe not Erik Karlsson, but that's debatable. But yeah. Who'd you have for their loss?
I put nothing. They had nothing to lose. That was what I put.
I put Kovalenko.
Sure.
He scored 20 points for them in 57 games, which doesn't sound like much. but that was 6th on the team in points.
Wait, that's ridiculous.
So on this particular team, it's actually a big loss. They actually lost a lot of production.
Maybe their loss was the acquisition of Ryan Reeves.
No, I think they got some and something attached to that to take that.
Maybe it was getting John Klingberg or Nick Leddy. God, they're just collecting washed D-men, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the hole.
Yep. Defense.
Yeah. I put I put 1D, I think with the same intention that you did for the Penguins, right? Where I think they don't have a 1D now, and they have more guys in the
I think Sam Dickinson could get there. I think he probably projects to a 2D, but I think he has the ceiling of 1D. He's
around a Brunicky in terms of quality of guy, you know.
I think he has a little higher offensive upside, a little weaker defensive than Brunicky. Brunicky more of that well-rounded.
God, but imagine if the Penguins had Sam Dickinson too.
Yeah, be really nice.
That was their draft pick.
Yeah. Imagine if the Islanders didn't win the lottery, and the Sharks get to add Matthew Schaefer.
Yeah, that group looks so much better with Matthew Schaefer. So, yeah, the team needs a full defensive makeover. Like they've got some talent like Dickinson in the pipeline, but and if they're gonna turn it around and become a good team whenever they decide that that's the right time to happen, they've been stockpiling forward talent like nobody's business, right? I mean, the top 6 is going to be fantastic in the future, right? But they're going to need to fully retool this blue line because everyone currently on the roster, I think, is not going to be contributing to them when they're good.
Possibly Mook Mandulan.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, other than him. There's nobody in this, on this defense that you want to see on this team,
right?
in the prime celebrating Smith years.
All right. And speaking of bad teams,
more bad Pacific teams. Seattle Kraken.
Yep.
Who did you have for their big addition?
I put Mason Marchment.
Yep.
I think Mason Marchment is a good player. He is another third-line winger on a team that only has third-line wingers. Yep. But, he's got some upside. He's got some goal-scoring skill. He's got some offensive juice to him, you know? Guy. Yeah, I think he's a good player. Need. Yeah. They desperately need better than Mason Marchment. But
Mason Marchment does not fill a need on this team.
Yeah.
It's more of the same. But he's probably on the upper end of the more of the same.
Right. Yeah. I would agree
Possibly.
with
that. I do wonder how he's going to look without playing with Sagan and Duchesne.
Well, the good news is I think he's going to probably get to play with a Wright or a Beniers. And so, they have 3 third lines. So, chances are he's going to be on one of the third lines with Wright or Beniers, right? So, those guys are not obviously, as good as Matt Shane, but they're up and coming guys, and Marchment can help make them look a little better, help them improve, that kind of thing. I think it's a good ad. So
what'd you put for their loss? Because I got creative with mine.
I did too. I put Dan Bylsma.
Okay.
I don't think coaching was the issue with. I don't think coaching is the issue with this team. Either. This is just not a roster, right? They have a decent decor, and they've got basically no forwards that are top end, right? I think it's infinitely more hurtful for their young guys to lose the consistency of the scheme that they were in, and have to learn new stuff and have to adapt and stuff like that when they're doing that. I just think consistency is good with young players. You have a coach. this team is bad. You keep the same coach. They're still bad. It's fine, though, because, you get the consistency. And then when you're ready to turn the corner, if you still think coaching is an issue, then you make a change, right?
Yeah.
But you wait, there's no way that this is good for Shane Wright's career, for his development. So,
like, for him, like, Bosma was the coach of all these guys at Coachella Valley in the AHL, and all the guys that are coming up, where I think they won a Calder with him. If they didn't, they got close. So, like, he's a guy that has had a lot of success coaching these guys.
Yeah,
Like, this is the guy to shepherd along into the lineup.
Yeah, he's got a good track record with young guy. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
To make a coaching change here. That's just not the
It
issue
felt
at all.
like ownership said somebody's head has to roll, and management's like, well, it's not going to be me.
Yeah.
So that guy, get that guy out of here. Get a 1C? What? I can't hear you.
Yeah,
get wingers.
Get some wingers.
Mason Marchment. Here you go.
Get a winger that has scored more than 60 points in the last decade. Nah. Nah.
I put NHL roster slots as my loss. Like, they have so much young talent in the pipeline, and like, instead of embracing them, they brought in Freddie Gaudreau, Mason Marchment, the corpse of Matt Murray in net, Ryan Lindgren. Like, none of these guys are going to add anything to your lineup.
That Lindgren move was real weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
you made
bad
a swap of like Burakovsky for Veleno. It was like, you could have just given some of these young guys like a shot.
Yeah, at some point you have to do the Sharks team where the Sharks thing where you're just like, we're bad, we're giving ice time to our talented young guys, and we're gonna see,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
So, their hole, I mean, it's like one of the most obvious holes in the league. It's top 6 wingers.
Yep.
Like, they're so set down the middle.
Yeah, they have so many centers in their pipeline and on their team, like, that could potentially be the guy. It might not be even if Shane Wright and Matty Beniers are both not 1Cs, they've got they got more. They just drafted what's his face?
O'Brien. Yep.
O'Brien. Yeah, they've
Catton.
got Berkeley Catton. Yeah, I mean, like, that's a ton of stuff, and you can do the thing where you put all your you fill your wings with centers, but like, the strategy long term isn't to have all your top guys be young. You don't have you don't throw like a full line of 21-year-olds at the ice and be like, yeah, here, do it. Like, you fill your slots and stuff like that. You have Macklin Celebrini, William Eklund, and Tyler Toffoli.
Yeah.
Where's their Tyler Toffoli?
Yeah, Toffoli makes that line so much better.
Yeah.
It makes it consistent night in, night out.
Exactly. You need this team needs like 2 Tyler Toffolis.
Yeah.
Because they just don't have it. Like, I don't know. Jared McCann is a competent top 6 winger. Jaden Schwartz doesn't suck, but he shouldn't really be in the top 6 of anything.
No.
Capo Caco doesn't have hands.
Yeah.
Jordan Eberle is basically deceased on the ice. Like what are they doing with any of those guys? Like, why are those guys sniffing ice time when you could be trying to find better players to mentor your young guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And yeah, Marchment, like we said, good player and stuff like that, but he's kind of just doing the same thing as those other guys, right? Not really good enough to elevate their young guys, and I don't know. It just kind of feels like they're just sitting there waiting for something to happen instead of making something. I don't know. I like the Sharks position infinitely more than the Kraken position, just because they're giving ice time to these young guys. They're seeing what they can do.
Yeah.
So next up is the Blues.
Yep.
This is I think a pretty easy one to me. What did you have for their ad?
Pia Suter?
Yep.
Yep.
Easy Pia Suter. What a good little middle six center.
Yeah.
Know? Good
40-point defensive PK expert.
Can play some 2C in a pinch.
Yep.
You know, played 1C for the Canucks in a couple of pinches. That shouldn't happen. But, good, really good middle six center.
This is the guy you add when you want to elevate to contender.
Yep, and that's right where the Blues are, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's this is the perfect fit on this team.
Yep. And then what did you have for loss?
Bolduc.
Yep, I also put Bolduc. Yeah, this one is straightforward. I still think it was a good trade for them. I think, and we talked about this a little bit. Mailloux is gonna be probably a pretty good player, and definitely fills way more of a position of need than like another like middle six winger, basically. Like Bolduc is the better player in the trade right now, but it makes sense, right? You know, with Holloway, Bugnevich, they got Snuggerud coming up, they got Jordan Kyrou, like they've got no shortage of skilled wingers, right? So they're like, here's our extra winger, and we're gonna turn him into maybe something, right? Yeah. Maybe something. So I like the trade, but Bolduc is definitely like a good player that would have a big contribution on this team. So
yeah, yep, young guy knocking on the door, 20 goals, had good possession and defensive metrics for a very young player, which is usually rare outside like the dominant guys, like the top draft picks. So they might regret trading him out. It'll entirely depend on how good Mayo does. But, I mean, it might have addressed something for them in the future, because my hole is 1D.
Yeah, I put right-handed defenseman specifically, because I actually like the Fowler, Broberg, like Tucker side of things. But, like, Colton Parayko is not the guy that he used to be. And then, if he's on your second pairing, you're really happy, like we talked about before. Justin Falk's kind of washed.
But still good. Like you'd like him on your third pair power play guy.
But not a 1D by any means, right? And then Mailloux is the last guy on that, and he's just completely unproven at this point, right? Yep. So one of those guys, and it's probably not going to be either of the two older guys, is going to have to step up if they want to have a real 1D. So it's an okay group, but it's not the best. This is a good team. Yeah. Honestly, like I really like the Blues roster construction. I think they've got good talent top to bottom, especially in their forward group, right? This is just the one area where I thought, it's it could use a little bit of work.
Yeah. There's been a Petrangelo size hole in this lineup since he went to Vegas. And they have not filled it.
No. They certainly have not.
They've had it for a couple years. Next up, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yep.
An interesting team who's sliding out of contention, but I don't feel like they made a lot of moves to address that. Who did you pick?
I put Jacob Pelletier.
Okay.
I think he's got some stuff. He might not crack the roster of this team, but he is at least an interesting guy that could be a difference maker. You know what I mean? Like, I think in terms of like additions you could make, this is the kind of guy that maybe he clicks with somebody, maybe he's able to do some. I mean, he's got some goal scoring potential, right? So maybe there's something there. I don't know. They sign him for 3 years, and it's 2-way this year, and then it's 1-way next year and the year after. So they're presumably expecting. Minimum. Yeah, that's true. But they're at least projecting him to be on their NHL roster in the future. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting pick. They didn't add a whole lot. So
I put Pontus Holmberg as the ad. I like Pelletier more, but like in 4 years, your career high is 25 games played. Like I just don't know if this guy's going to be consistently in the lineup, consistently healthy enough to like be a difference maker. I think he has the talent to, because he's put up 8 and 11 points in like 20 games.
Yeah.
So like he could be a decent like half a point per game player, but like he just has to actually do the thing.
Yeah, Holmberg is a much more known quantity and is definitely gonna raise the floor. But
yeah, he'll find a spot in the bottom 6 somewhere.
Yeah, I was just a little more excited because I think they need some sauce.
They do need some sauce, particularly in the bottom 6 of this lineup.
Yep.
And I think Holmberg will bring some sauce for sure, but like I think the sauce bottle is bigger with Peltier.
Yeah,
I don't know how much sauce is actually in the bottle at this point.
What an
and
analogy.
is there a giant crack in the bottle?
What an analogy. All right, what'd you pick for their loss?
For the loss, I put Nick Perbix.
Yeah.
He's not like the biggest deal, the greatest player, but like this isn't a great defense core, and like losing on a not great defense core is, suboptimal.
They lost a solid bottom 4 defenseman, and their bottom 4 defense just didn't really have a lot of room to lose guys.
Yeah.
Which brings me to their hole, which is it's just the blue line. I mean, after Hedman,
depth. But I mean, might not even be depth. It might be the whole thing.
I mean, after Hedman, the quality of defenseman drops off a cliff, right?
Yeah.
And McDonough, not a terrible player still at this, still a productive guy at this point in his career, but like, who's your Hedman pairing? Like, it's Giannis Moser. Like, is that guy really going to be playing top pairing minutes? Like,
Yeah.
Is Eric Cernak really going to be, it's just.
If they had a real pair with Hedman and a better third pair, like McDonough Cernak as your second pair is perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's
but
fine.
They don't have those things.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're, if you had a reasonable top defenseman and they still had Perbix, for instance, on that bottom pair, like maybe we're talking about a group that is looking good.
Yeah.
Not great, but like good. But
and Radish is fine, but like he's not adding a lot. He's just not subtracting anything.
And Lilleberg's.
I mean, unless he takes a big leap, which he's 24, so
he
could. Defenseman hit slightly later, so this is about the time where you want him to take a leap. But I don't know if he is that guy.
He's not the kind of guy that you want on your bottom pairing if you're a team that is like actively in your compete window, right? You don't want to be like, well, I hope that this guy can take a leap. You want a guy like Nick Perbix, who is just a known quantity and is just going to give you like solid, decent hockey, right?
Yep.
Like that's what you want. You don't want, is our 24-year-old guy going to take a leap, or is he going to look like a dumpster fire on defense again? Like Lilleberg had pretty bad numbers last year defensively. So I mean it's tough for the Lightning. They don't have the most depth in and we mentioned like in their forward core either. They've got a great top end, but like Nick Paul's a good 3C, but Yanni Gord's looking a little washed. There's not a whole lot else going on in their bottom 6. And I don't know. And they're in the Atlantic.
Yep.
So like it's
Which
just
that's
just a
they're one of the reasons that the Atlantic is tough usually
for sure. But I mean now they might be aging out of that like spot in the top of the Atlantic, and other teams might be replacing them. So making their lives harder. So all right. Next up, your team.
Yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
They definitely had an off season.
Yeah, they did a lot.
Some
which
changes
I
were
guess
made.
is good, because I guess doing something is better than nothing generally.
Yeah. But
for my ad, I put Nick Waugh.
Okay.
They've had a hole at 3C since Kadri left.
Mm-hmm.
And they've tried a million solutions. And Nick was kind of the most promising of them.
Yeah.
Of like a guy who's proven he's not washed.
Mm-hmm.
He's not special. He's not flashy. He's not like, oh my God, Nick was here to save the day.
But like good.
But yeah.
Yeah. Reliable 3C for a team that has not had one of those. I mean, that's pretty good. I went with Matthias Michelli, actually, for my biggest ad. I thought it was a really smart move. The guy that needed a change of scenery, and the Toronto has a ton of talent on their top 6 that they can throw him in and see if that's where he belongs. They, obviously both of us picked Mitch Marner as their biggest loss of the offseason. You can break that elephant in the room, right? But they need to replace that production somehow, and obviously Michelli isn't going to do it on his own. But they got him for basically free. We're calling third-round draft picks basically free. So they got him for basically free. He's only 24. He's expiring this year. If he sucks, there's really no downside to making that move and trying him out and stuff like that. I thought it was a smart way to try and recoup some value there. So
I agree. I really liked it. There's a couple forwards that also shout out Dakota Joshua. I liked all 3 of bringing those guys in. I think they make the Leafs depth better.
Yeah, for sure.
But the Mitch Marner sized hole in the lineup is going to be difficult to fill.
It's crazy. The bottom 6 looks like much better now for the Leafs than it did last year, which is good. But that now we're missing Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
So it's going to be.
I have some disagreements with the general Leafs fandom about his playoff performances, but even if we just say he was not good in the playoffs, losing 100-point players in their prime that are also top PK guys,
that's a lot to
no team gets better with that. On their production.
They're certainly not going to be better, I think, but maybe the change and the increased depth can give them
and allocating
some
cap
differences.
space.
Can do some different stuff. So they'll be an interesting team to watch. Again, killers in the Atlantic, right?
Yep.
I don't think this made them any more likely to beat the Florida Panthers.
I think this actually maybe kind of does make them a little bit better against beating the Florida Panthers. I think they will be a worse team this season, though. I don't think this makes them better at regular season. It definitely doesn't make them better at regular season hockey.
Maybe it improved their odds at beating the Panthers from 20% to 23%.
Yeah,
but and then their regular season numbers might be a little worse. But there's still holes. In this roster. What did you pick for your hole?
It's 1D.
Yeah, it's 1D.
And if you ignore Morgan Riley and use give him Hedman or whatever, this is a top 5 defense unit. Their 2 through 6 is really good. Tanev, Carlo, McCabe, Benoit, Ekman Larson, that's great.
Yeah, those are all great players.
They don't have
the Leafs right now.
that number 1 guy.
Yeah, they don't have a power play quarterback at all.
Yep.
Because Morgan Riley actively makes their power play worse.
Yeah. And with Marner out, because they were running the 5 forward, and are you still going to run 5 forward now?
Was basically the power play quarterback for the team, and they've kind of lost that too. Yeah. So another reason that Mitch Marner lost, you lose your power play quarterback and a top PK. And a 100-point score. That's a lot of shoes he was in. That was a lot of hats he was wearing. So, we'll see if they can do some stuff. It's too late for the defense. I just don't know what kind of change they could make to amp up that.
Unless I can't even think of a guy, but a team that's bad that has a guy to sell at the deadline, and Toronto somehow has the cap space. I mean, I don't know if Erik Karlsson. And he fixes some things on the Leafs.
He fixes the power play.
Yeah, but he fixes that problem.
He doesn't fix anything else.
He's not a true 1D that's going to lead this team to the promised land.
But
he's not going to beat. we're not beating Florida because you have Erik Karlsson instead of Morgan Riley.
Yeah.
You know,
You should have waved and stretched Morgan Riley, picked up Matt Grzelcyk.
I don't think wave and stretch is a thing.
I know.
Should have just traded for Micah Parsons. I heard he fixes defenses.
I mean, for sure. He was available.
But, I mean, yeah, if they're going to win a cup with this group, Morgan Riley needs to have like the year of his life.
Mm-hmm. Has he had like a really good year, or like has he just been
he had
like
one year where he got some Norris votes, like 4th and 5th place votes, not Norris winning votes. The
right
21-22 season. Oh no, sorry, the 18-19 season.
Yeah, he had 20 goals.
The 20
that
goal, 72 points. But
yeah,
I mean, Riley's a good player, but he's just not a great player, and the
Right.
Leafs need him to be a great player.
yeah. For the role that he has on the team and the money that he's making, he needs to be an actual difference maker, and he is a decent 2D.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he is Seth Jones on Florida.
Yeah.
The problem is Florida has Forsling and
Florida has 2.5 defensemen better than Seth Jones on their team.
Yeah.
And Morgan Riley is supposed to be the guy on this
Yeah.
team, and he just isn't. So
Yeah. I mean, Tanev is the 1D of this team, realistically.
yeah.
But I love Chris Tanev.
Yeah, Chris Tanev
in the league.
Chris Tanev is a great player and has a great style of hockey, but he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have that skill set. So
Yeah.
all right, well, let's move on to the Utah Mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you
the same
have?
edition?
Do you want to go back and just rewind to the Buffalo Sabres section, and then we just talk about it in the reverse order?
Yeah, I mean, basically,
that's what it is, right? It was that trade. Is that what you have?
Yeah, Peterka.
Yeah, so Peterka for the ad and Kesselring for the loss. That's what I have.
I actually have Doan for the loss. Instead of Kesselring, because I think that Utah's defense can withstand the Kesselring loss.
Yes.
Pretty well. Like, I don't think they had basically. I guess we'll talk about that first. They had Marino and Dursey as well on that right side, and they're all kind of second pair right D guys, right?
Right.
So like, it's not a situation where I feel like Utah's like significantly worse, and then they brought in Nate Schmidt to kind of fill in that spot on the third line. So like, I feel like they kind of have a natural replacement for Kesselring, where he was like an extra. I'm
worried about Marino for them, just because of health, just because of consistency.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Like if Kesselring like really blossoms into being like a very solid second pairing guy on the Sabres, like that is a player that I think they would miss a lot. Just because that's a winning hockey player, right? A right-handed defenseman that can be solid for you on your second pairing. So, but yeah, JJ Peterka though.
Yeah, Peterka. I mean, look, just adding 23-year-old wingers that are on the cusp of 30 goals, like
that's insane.
Their offense was good, but kind of inconsistent, kind of hot and cold.
They added a bona fide potential top 6 winger that can be just a pure goal scorer that can be on their, depending on what they want to do, first line or second line,
he
depending
could
on
play
where the
first
fit
line.
is, right?
I don't think he's going to play over Keller.
Well, yeah, but
likely,
what if you played him and Keller?
Yeah, you could play him and Keller. Yeah.
Yeah. But then they also have Gunther. Like I mean, there's just a wealth now of great forwards on this team, right?
Yeah.
Keller, Gunther, Peterka. I mean, we got Logan Cooley, we got Barrett Hayton.
Yep. Nick Schmaltz, still a good player.
Nick Schmaltz, still a good player. We got Caleb Denoyer coming up the ranks after the draft. I don't know. It's a lot of very good young guys.
Boot, Really good
I want to see this team. I want to see this team take a leap. I think Cooley's going to have another good year.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see if he can get to point per game status this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. And that would be pretty nice for him. Yeah, I mean, this is a good team, but with one hole in my mind.
So my loss actually is Josh Doan.
Oh yeah,
and because he is like primed to replace Kerfoot in the bottom six, who expires after the season,
right,
and makes money. Mm-hmm. And like they could have got him to a bridge deal, and he would have probably cost about the same as Kerfoot, but instead of being 31, he's 22 or 3 or whatever.
Right, and you can sign him to 3 or 4 years, and yeah.
And like they were both guys that they traded for Peterka, so you know you could have gone either side of that coin, but yeah. The hole for you, what is it?
I picked goalie, actually.
You picked goalie, okay. So we have different holes.
Yeah, I'm assuming you picked 1D.
I put Sergachev's partner.
Sure.
Whether he gets somebody better than Sergachev,
Colin? Couldn't it have been Kesselring?
I mean, probably.
Or
not.
Couldn't it be Dursey and then you put Kesselring on the? You know.
I'm not sold on Dursey as a first pair guy.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he's
I
a really
like
nice
Dursey a lot.
But yeah.
But I put goalie. I think Karel Vejmelka is not consistent enough to what you'd want to have behind like this kind of team. I think this team could succeed in its current state with a more solid goalie. You know, this blue line, I think, you know, maybe they're lacking the Sergachev partner. Maybe it's not the best blue line that it could be, but you have Sergachev, you have Dursey. They're leading two like solid lines, right? You have a decent third pairing, right? You have great young talent at the top, and you have good role players and stuff like that in the bottom. You have like talent to surround with your young guy. Like this is just a good team, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Vejmelka is gonna be the guy that could get them there. You know?
Yeah.
I think he maybe could go on a tear and do something, but I think you'd way rather have a more consistent guy. This is a team that I think could be looking to upgrade goalie to like really take the next jump. You know, we'll say that this is a team that I don't think it would have been a mistake for them to have traded for John Gibson.
Yeah.
You know, like is Gibson necessarily the answer? Like we don't know, but like if your team would have potentially given up a 3rd round pick for John Gibson this year, then you can't really say that your goaltending is a strength, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. If they want to be a consistent team, they're probably going to want to be better than Vejmelka.
If they want to like get into the playoffs and have reasonable seeding and then be able to go on a run, I think Vejmelka is not the guy for that.
Yeah. I just put Sergachev's partner. Like I like John Marino and Sean Dursey, but I don't want to play out of those guys like 22 to 25 minutes a night. Like those are guys that I like for 20, 19 minutes a night, 18 minutes a night. And I feel like they need to have a partner for Sergachev, whether he's, you know, a headman that's, you know, the 1D and better than Sergachev, or if he's, you know,
just
on
a good
par
complementary piece,
or, you know, maybe slightly worse, but yeah, that like first line quality guy. Next up, the Vancouver Canucks.
Wonderful.
A team that has undergone some changes, and I'm not sold on a lot of them. I put Evander Kane as their biggest ad.
That's terrible.
And that didn't feel good.
I got creative because I didn't want to say that. So I put like a potential like PD comeback. Like I think they need Elias Pettersson to have a better year if they're going to have any chance of doing anything, because he's like the only good forward on this team. So, like with this year, he's going to get a full year. Hopefully he's going to be healthy. Hopefully he's worked out whatever kinks, whatever mental stuff he was going through. They got rid of JT Miller, so his arch enemy is gone. The bully in the locker room for him. So, you know, like
got rid of Rick Tocchet.
Yep, exactly. Got rid of Rick Tocchet.
I mean, that's probably actually the biggest ad is
maybe
whoever the coach is.
They needed a big change for him in order for him to be set up for success, and I think they gave him a shot at it. Yeah, you know, I think he's going to have a chance next year to be the elite player that he's shown flashes of being. Right, like if he scores 100 points next year, I wouldn't be surprised. and I think the Vancouver Canucks will make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right, and that's really all you can ask for if you're this team at this point, right?
Yeah.
Is to get a chance. So,
I mean, the biggest ad might have been that season ended.
right, yeah, it was a dumpster fire of a season.
Yeah,
it was,
and there's
really
probably
sad
no
for the
way
Canucks.
you're gonna have another back-to-back dumpster fire at the same caliber. Maybe it's a different kind of fire.
Right. There's no way
Buffalo
that a
fans will
team
argue
could
that
have a
that is
dumpster
possible.
fire. Yeah, I was gonna make a Buffalo joke.
But we're like, oh no, trust me, it's possible.
Yeah,
But
it
odds
is
are,
possible. But like, they've given themselves a chance just by turning over a new leaf and having a new team. I think the team got worse, but Pedersen's gonna be.
yeah,
He's got a chance now. He's got a chance now because he didn't have a chance last year.
yeah.
Uh huh.
I put Evander Kane just because like it's the biggest roster addition.
You
He
put
could be a
you put
20-goal scorer.
you put a tangible thing, and I got creative because I didn't want to put Evander Kane.
It's super respectable. I assume we have the same loss here.
It's got to be Pius Suter,
Yes,
right?
Pius Suter. I mean, he was so good.
Yeah,
He was so good for them last year.
I don't know how they let that happen.
I almost assumed that he didn't want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
That's
unless they cheaped out and didn't give him $4.1 million in an exploding cap era as one of the wealthiest teams in the league.
No, I mean he's on a great contract now. Like
if he got
there's
$7 million or something stupid from somebody who's like way overpaid, then like I understand. But $4 million, you let a good middle six center walk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's
who was like really good for them too.
Yeah.
Like stepped up and like played very well last year, despite all of the injuries, despite all of the turmoil at the roster and
fires.
stuff like that. The dumpster fire that was going on. He was like a good source of consistency
unscathed
for them. Mm-hmm. And they let him go. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. What did you put for your hole?
So for me, there's a lot of holes in this roster. I put middle six centers.
Okay.
Like Pedersen, obviously 1C, love it. Mm-hmm. If he's the good Pedersen.
Yeah.
But then like Philip Hedl, I like Philip Hedl. He's
so injured,
and
like
so many concussions, and like that's like kind of the worst.
Not a guy that you want to be relying on to be your 2C.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why it was, I feel like, such a mistake to let Pius Suter go because, like, if Hedl is injured, he can step up and take those harder minutes and stuff like that. Yeah,
and then Teddy Bluger, one of my favorite, like, underrated guys, great 4C, 3C in a pinch, but he's like discount Pius Suter, and like, why is a team, going for the discount version?
Maybe this is the Aturati year.
I mean, it could be.
He's, I'm not
be.
going to say due for a breakout, but he's a young guy who's going to have opportunities because there's my hole was forwards. Yeah. Just in general, because I think they're also lacking top end forwards.
Yeah.
You have Elias Pettersson, and then you have Brock Besser, and then after that, I think the drop off in terms of the quality of forwards is like dramatic.
Yeah.
Pettersson obviously a 1C. Besser could probably be the worst player on a top line, but probably you don't want
You put like another like really great winger on the other side. Like you're not sitting there like, oh man, Brock Besser, he's dragging us down.
Right, but if that player is Nils Hoglander, I don't think you're as happy.
Yeah.
And then if you have Jake DeBrusk and Evander Kane and Drew O'Connor and Connor Garland as all of your other wingers, like those are just all third line guys in my mind.
Yeah.
Those are all third line guys in my mind. I don't think there's really anything behind that Pettersson Besser thing. So I think they're just severely because we've talked about this, that I think their defense group is fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? We really like the way that their defense core is structured. And then you can also talk about goalies as being a hole. They have a lot of holes. But I'd be remiss to not mention Thatcher Demko.
Yeah.
It was been very, very good, and then very, very bad, and then very, very injured, and then who the heck knows what they're gonna ever get with him again, right?
Yep.
And then I think Lankinen is a serviceable backup, but
Yeah.
that's not really what you need when you have this many holes. I mean, the only non-hole is Quinn Hughes, baby.
Pretty much, yeah.
Quinn Hughes is
This
so
team,
good.
This team is Quinn Hughes.
This team is Quinn Hughes.
Quinn Hughes
and Elias
tore an
Patterson.
ACL in the preseason. Like,
Yeah.
this team's drafting highly.
I legit think that they would have better odds at winning the lottery than making the playoffs without Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Move on to the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
That's an exciting team to talk about.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It's why I pulled up the Vegas gear.
Yeah. Smart.
From the closets because
Smart.
I mean,
Because you're following Mitch Marner and you're exchanging your Leafs
let's go,
fandom for Vegas
Mitch
fandom.
Marner.
You're just
Yeah.
the biggest Mitch Marner fan.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you just add a Mitch Marner to a great
To a
playoff
good team, then you're just getting an amazing team. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you want a guy who's going to take the load partly off of Stone and not have him need to be healthy and playing a ton of minutes a night.
Mm-hmm.
And Eichel, here's your guy. You want to elevate one of Barbashev or Dorofeyev
Yeah.
with a setup guy? Here's your guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whichever
increase your
one of
PK?
those guys
Here's your
ends
guy.
up on the Marner Eichel line is just going to look so much better than they would otherwise,
Yeah.
right? And then, oh God, this team is just so good.
Mm-hmm.
They just look so good. I mean, they're the team that got the most better of any team just by adding a Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
Because they added the best player in the offseason that moved, and yeah,
And
they were good before.
they kind of also didn't need Nick Waugh necessarily. The combination of Howden, Herschel, and Sissons, one of them should be able to fill that 3C role.
Yeah.
Arguably, one of them could bump Carlson down at this stage in Carlson's career to 3C.
Nah, you're not getting rid of Carlson. That guy's
Tomas
still
Hertl,
so good.
if he plays great, he could.
Carlson still has just the most elite possession defensive numbers you could possibly have for a 2C. The dude is just good.
Yeah.
He's just good.
Oh, trust me, I'm a big Carlson fan. This is a Carlson inaugural season jersey. Trust
Fantastic.
me, I'm a huge fan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's Mitch Marner. Hole. Pretty sure we have the same hole.
Do we need to go over losses?
Oh, sorry, loss. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The loss, Alex Pietrangelo.
Yeah, Alex Pietrangelo. I mean, if a team could lose a guy like Pietrangelo and still be better, it's because they got Marner and also because they had very good defensive depth behind him. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's hard to lose a 1D like that. It's hard to lose a Pietrangelo, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, this team kind of had three varying qualities of 1D caliber guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Noah Hannafin is a great player.
Noah Hannafin's a 1D on some teams.
Yeah,
Shea Theodore is going to be a 1D on some teams.
Yeah, and now is probably the 1D on this team. And I don't remember exactly what tier we put him in, but it was good.
Yeah. I think we put him in a could win a cup.
I think that's what we did too. And I think we'd put both Hannafin and Theodore in that tier.
Yeah.
So the fact that they lose a 1D and then they still have it's kind of the Florida Panther thing where you have two guys that are both top 32 defensemen ish, you know, in the league. They got two of them. So yeah, this is a scary team.
Yeah.
What did you put for your whole?
I put defense depth.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously Hannafin, Theodore, great. Zach Whitecloud, really nice. Brady McNabb can can hold it down a little bit. Not the most spectacular, but good defensive defenseman.
Yeah.
Lauzon is uninspiring and not very good. And Korzak is kind of a mystery box that has shown some flashes in very limited opportunities. Yeah. But like we said with who was it a couple teams ago?
I think it was the Lightning, right?
Yeah, where you don't want to say hopefully Korzak, blossoms for our Stanley Cup push, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But I think they, that second pairing is still very serviceable. So it's really just they're going to trade for a third pairing defenseman at the trade deadline most likely, and I think they'll probably be okay. So I put health for them because I think and a little bit of depth because I think they don't have the depth to get over multiple injuries, and they have a lot of guys that have a lot of injury history. So it's gonna be a struggle, I think, for them to get to the playoffs all healthy, all in one piece. But I think once they do, they're as primed to make a cup run as any other team. They look really good out of the West. I think.
I agree. I agree. Next up, the Washington Capitals. Who did you put for their big ad?
I put Justin Sourdiff.
Okay.
They traded a second for him. I don't know. In full transparency, I don't know anything about this guy. They traded a second for him.
He's played 4 career games.
Yeah. They traded a second for him. They must have seen something that they liked, and for them to do that, and I think it's if you could be bringing a young guy, a mystery box that the Capitals they've been pretty good at scouting talent and stuff like that. So I'd be inclined to trust that he's gonna make this roster and make a difference potentially. So they didn't really add a whole lot else. So
they really didn't. I went Declan Chisholm on the blue line.
Yeah.
They gave him a decent amount of money for what looks to be a 7D at this point on the team. But, he's a good defenseman. And who knows if there's an offensive ceiling to be unlocked at some point.
Yeah.
Doesn't have great possession metrics, but, just good defensively. He's a guy that if somebody gets hurt, he's probably one of the best 7D in the league right now.
Yeah, for sure. The depth of this defensive unit is just tremendous, and then they bolstered it somehow this offseason.
Yeah.
So, he'd solve a lot of issues of some of the other teams that we've talked about that are lacking in their defensive depth, right? So, and it's a luxury for them.
I would way rather have him than Lilleberg if I was Tampa.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So,
what'd you have for your loss?
I put Mangiapane.
Yeah.
He's not a huge loss. They will get over it. But he's a decent winger.
Yeah, he's a contributor. It makes their depth a little bit worse, and they're a team that I think kind of lives and dies by their depth, right? Because they're getting contributions from all over the lineup, and Mangiapane was good for him. So, but I think they'll find more contributions.
Yeah.
What did you have for a whole for this team?
I have their whole second line as a whole.
Okay.
Beauvillier, Dubois, Wilson.
Yeah, I put top 6 talents is what I have here. Beauvillier, Dubois, Wilson is not really the second line that you want from a consistencies perspective. Yeah. Beauvillier and Dubois are both just super inconsistent players, right? You really don't know what you're going to get with them, and and just
Tom Wilson's still great, but he's a 31-year-old pure power forward. Those guys fall off usually the earliest of everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
So you gotta figure you're counting down the days of him falling off, but also you just had a career of the year last year, so who knows?
I know.
But
and then Ovi is aging.
yeah,
That's just how age works, right? He's no longer the best winger in the National Hockey League.
yeah,
Might not even be the best winger on this team next season if Protas continues his current rise, right? And then Dylan Strome had a career year last year, and we don't know if that's the new norm for him or if he's gonna have a little bit of a regression, right? There's some questions. A lot of guys on this team had career years last year.
yeah.
Especially guys in their top six, and so it's going to be a question of if that's their new norm or if there's going to be some regression.
Yep.
I don't think they'll be the top seed out of the Metro this year. So,
Nah, there should be no way with that Carolina roster.
yeah, but it's still a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should still be a playoff lock, I'd assume. Unless things go really badly.
I mean, the Metro is god awful, so I mean they're gonna get out of there. But I think they overperformed a little bit last year, and are due for a little bit of a return to the mean. Want to talk about Winnipeg?
Yeah,
next.
last up,
and
the Winnipeg Jets. Addition, I went Gustav Nyquist.
Yeah,
And I don't feel great about that.
I mean, it's unfortunately for Winnipeg, I think he was the best addition to their team.
He can still do things.
I mean,
last year was bad, but
yeah,
he can still do things, but also has a lot of years in not doing things. So like, if you get him in a good year, then they'll probably be really happy about that, and he'll be a really nice middle six contributor. But if they get him in a bad year, then there's a $3.2 million hole in their pocket.
He's only a year removed from a 75-point-20 goal season, right?
Yeah.
So if that's who they got, then great.
But that year between was
really bad.
It was a really 12-goal, 28-point season. So
it was really bad. So who knows what they're gonna get with Nyquist? I think they needed to take a chance on a guy like him, I think, because of their loss, which I'm assuming that we put the same thing in Nick Ehlers.
Yeah, Nick Ehlers.
I mean, they lost a top six winger. They kind of replaced him with Gustav Nyquist. That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. I think ideally, in their mind, they replace him with Cole Perfetti. That Cole Perfetti's gonna take that jump to being a staple top six guy.
Yeah,
we'll see. I think Perfetti's good, but is he like a staple top six, or is he like a really nice middle six kind of guy?
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll
Maybe
see.
with the opportunity, with a guy like Ehlers out of the way, he could play with Scheifele and Connor. He could be great. Could also be stapled to the corpse of Taves.
That brings to the hole that I put, which was that second line.
I put just like forwards, the bottom nine forwards, like after the top line, like that top line, great, fantastic. And then like it's a stark drop off.
They have four good forwards. They have Connor, Scheifele, Velarde, and Perfetti, I think, that are like very good forwards. And then after that, who's else is going to be on that second line? It's going to be Taves maybe as the center, the corpse of John Taves. Like that's really bad. Then we have on the wing, that second line wing, it's one of like Niederreiter, Nyquist. I hope not like you follow. Like I mean, like there's just a stark. Yeah, I agree with you. There's just not a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah.
So, they are a team I think that will also be making some deadline acquisitions to try and bolster that thing there. So.
Yeah, they'll definitely need to if they want to do anything in the playoffs.
Just think about their matchup versus Florida, right? I mean, like, we get to Shifley, Connor, and Velarde get to play against Barkov, and Barkov just does Barkov things, right?
Yep.
And then everyone else just gets destroyed by Sam Bennett. Like you could put Sam Bennett against any one of their lines, and he's just gonna score 100 goals. Like. Yeah.
And then when he comes off the ice, Anton Lundell runs out there.
Yeah, exactly. And he scores 100 goals. Like they just have no way to compete with a team that's as deep as Florida. Yeah. So it's a good first line, but
compete with a team like Vegas to even get to
that's
Florida.
True. I mean, they don't,
Dallas or Colorado.
They don't have a line to compete with a William Karlsson line.
Yeah.
We just talked about a Karlsson Stone X line is gonna eat their. Yeah. I mean, gonna eat them up. So
their hope is to just play low event hockey and just like win these games 2-1, 1-0.
Yeah, and hope that their notorious playoff choking, but Vezina winning goalie can figure out what the hell he's doing. So yeah, I mean, if they've got a good defense core, like we talked about, and they got a good top line, and they've got one of the best goalies in the NHL. Yep. Playoff woes aside, so I don't know. They're a weird team.
Yeah,
but they're hurting for sure losing Nick Ehlers because All right, that was our add loss hole for
every team.
For every team, yeah.
And as soon as this publishes, there's going to be a couple massive moves made.